very helpful if he's able to. Even still, though, this is where things should get a little bit more interesting for Optic. They're going to have the rifles.
Hello,
Every
guys.
single play. What sort of ideas the Loud have?
Hello,
Sure, they've got a few
hello,
rifles coming in
hellos.
themselves, playing that sort of
Adios,
extended
amigos.
bonus round with some extra weaponry, and by the looks of things,
We
they
are
want to really
live, watch
challenge it.
parties.
You can see the arrow
Watch
wiggling
parties.
as Sassy was waiting to swing through and fire it. The reveal clears close. With a smoke down, there could be a player sneaking up inside of it, but I think the reveal was there just as it bloomed, so it should be clear enough on that info. Unfortunately, Sassy then found out there's a player on short the hard way.
Well, they sort of forced back one player in the form of Victor, but Yay stuck around. And after that opener, you can just see how passive this setup becomes from Optic. They put themselves into a solid position. It looks like Aspaz is just going to dive into the site again, though. The same as the previous round. This time it's being watched for by Marv. He doesn't connect the initial shot, though.
Paranoia didn't land on him. He's still good to fight. As Sadik goes down, utility on its way to clear Marv out, but Yay is holding strong. Kill after kill going his way, and with finesse landing one through the smoke, that round goes convincingly into Optic's hands. I mean, Marv surviving like he did, dodging the Paranoia and being able to cut off Sadik, stopping any extra utility from making its way to the side, and well, Yay just had free reign from that point while they were focused on Jenny.
That's the thing I really like with Marv. I feel like he truly is that controller specialist.
Yes.
Like, seeing him on Breach, KO, I've not really had anywhere near the same enjoyment, but you give him the utility to play around, and he truly is that superstar. He truly is the person you even put in the conversation with Yay.
You know, I mentioned that last time these guys played over on Pearl, when I was doing the Telestrator, I said that it was, Yay was 1-0 in opening duels. Marv was 6-1.
Yeah.
And it's so often that Yay will be there trying to get the early duel, falling back, and then Marv plays these nasty angles, able to capitalize off the gaps in spacing. Right here, you see that face to Yay, the aggressive early duel. It works out, and he doesn't even need his TP to get out of there, sitting comfortably with a man advantage now on Optic.
Yeah, the thing is, that's their lurk down as well. Les is normally looking to try and hold on to one half of the map while they pressure elsewhere. This means that Loud have to be a lot more careful of all of these aggressive positions that could have been taken, and a lot of the time are taken by players like Yay. Falling back into what looks like an A setup, and in fact, there's still 3 players within B.
Sorry.
Slight misread here. Victor, I don't know if his spot was actually checked whatsoever, and they're still holding on to this short completely.
They definitely noticed Victor when the drone came around. They've caught Marv, though, taking down the first man that they saw. The spams coming back, finding nothing as the plant comes in. Loud regained the advantage, and with the ult online, Sadik is going to stop any heavy utility retakes. It could mean that Optic run the clock down a bit more and wait for it to be gone, but then they'll have such limited time on that clock to get in. They really need to force some fights without the utility, and well, dry swinging into the angles isn't always the best approach. With kill after kill going Loud's way, they're still going for it. They're still pushing through, and Victor's got 2. Pancata stuck below. A good kill, but he needs to survive. Up close now, Crashies could get him, but the TP, he's got into wine. He's buying time, and he won't cancel. Instead, he'll use this position to deny the defuse. Shoulder peeking and hitting the shot. The round is saved by Pancata with a Red Bull clutch. 3 rounds for Loud.
Oh, there were 2 shock darts, I believe, on Crashies. You just,
There were.
If he fires one of those in, he basically wins the round, probably not realizing how low Pancata was on the other side. This from Victor, though, was just absurd. And I think he actually dinks up the final player as well, almost solo retaking versus the entirety of Loud. The problem now is what's left on the other side. Weaponry in the bin. Okay, 1 off the tour de force for Yay could be a game changer. The fact is, what orb do they challenge for if they challenge for 1 at all?
Well, it certainly looks like B main is under the control of Loud. They're not going to be giving anything away. And Yay, sitting passively on the A side, will just be headhunting this round. Again, if he goes...
He's done so much damage! 2 shock darts back to back, and the entirety of the team, bar Pancata, is actually tagged. Also with delay utility as well, going through this would have its risks, especially now there's 4 players here and a 5th rotating in.
Oh, this is a bad read. Loud are walking right into the trap. They find the first. The spam is good, and the follow-up there. The weaker weapons really a saving grace for the attacker side. Not up against the heavy weaponry they could have been. Some kills still coming back for Optic. The round yet to be decided. And it's Marv sitting on the site. Spectre in hand. They know about Victor. He's an accounted for property. Marv might be able to catch them by surprise, but he's being spotted, and with that, the round seems to be over. 18 health left as he swings into heavy traffic. It will be Brazil taking an extra round, and the lead becoming more and more exaggerated. Optic have got to start sweating at this point.
As said, like, when it comes to the defensive side for Loud, they're phenomenal. So going in with a deficit would just be an absolute nightmare, and you're going to see Optic taking themselves a pause. Now, they come in, tour de force, rifles. You've also got the null command. Like, in terms of ultimates and in terms of sheer firepower, they are going to be favored going into this one. But the problem I have, Mitch, is I feel like Loud are already in a okay spot if they were to go into the second half like this. So now they can be a little bit more creative with a lot of the ideas they have. The only difference is that I think when we saw against Liquid, Optic managed to put up a really heavy attack inside, but that is also up against the Phoenix.
We do love those comms. We do
Not the
love
best
those
on the
comms.
defense.
No, well, you know, it depends how you use it, but yeah, you know, we have to agree there. 20 seconds on this timer.
20
And
seconds.
Optic must be deep in discussion. Chet's been thinking in the background all these rounds, observing, seeing the
20
flaws.
seconds.
For Loud, though, I mean, I'm not even sure they need to worry too much. They don't need to change too much. They've been looking fantastic. I will say Victor, the 2 kills that he has were incredible. The flash through the smoke, I thought that 2v4, they were not going for it. Like, there's no way that they go in for this. And then the flash, the double kill right off the bat, it looked incredible.
Yeah, we could be in a very different spot right now.
Really
if he manages to just hit one more shot to the body, if a shock dart, as said, goes in, it could have been a completely different round. But the fact is, Pancada currently at the top of the board.
Stream
8-1
चालू है, क्या हुआ?
on that omen. He's been incredible, as said, throughout this tournament. One of the best controllers we have in the world scene. Some early information going to be taken. Ye is just walking it. We spoke about this man.
आवाज आया इधर भगा देगा मैं सीधा भगा देगा
on his shoulders, but in this
नहीं
round, it
पहले
looks
बोल
like
रहा
he's
आवाज आया
trying.
भगा देगा
He's
इधर
only
से
died once so
पहले बोल रहा
far,
हूँ
Pancada. This could be the second. The jump spot shallow each time. He goes out that little bit wider. There's no telling whether Ye hits the shot or not. In fact, I'd say he probably does, knowing that it's Ye. And that's why they're being so cautious, so careful about giving away these advantages. Smokes haven't yet been thrown out and bloomed on mid. They're waiting for a late round take. There's the smoke. There's the peak. And now they'll try to punish from the connector, but he's already made it away.
Interesting spot. They're actually holding deep towards A in
आपका
case
नेट
there's any level of aggression.
यार
But it's a very, very passive hold. Other than Ye pushing and probing, everybody else is sat back on the map.
बीटी
This
मध्य पे
position, though, from Les might actually catch him off guard as the rest look to pressure in towards A.
वो बैन
This
चार
would be
पकड़
huge
लिए
again. Victor in position, but he's not going
बे
to be
यार
able to pop
नेट
a flash out of the
बे
smokes
नेट
this
भाई
time. Fully suppressed. Here we go, though. As it resets, he can
चार
potentially try to
suppress के लौंडे
reinitiate some of these fights. They've caught Ye on the lurk through. We saw Les get caught by MMB main previously. Now, victory is his, and it could be Loud's as well, as every single kill seems to go their way. Only losing Sadik, and for the control they got, that is worthwhile. Crashy's alone. Credits in the bin. 4.2k on Ye. Nobody else can afford to buy. Wouldn't blame him if he saved, but even then, what are you saving for? And the economy for Loud's going to get out of control.
Yeah, I just bringing something into the next round, I guess. A hero rifle. Again, though, just so impressive from Loud on those takes. The fact is, initially they get hit. I think by the KO knife, 4 of the players, as they look to try an entry in, they're a little bit patient as they look to make their move. And then you just see, as the utility comes back online, the spams take Victor almost all the way down. And even then, the flashes that come through on the other side just leave him completely blinded. Clearing out that side looked way too easy. And okay, Les has gone down right at the end, but as you mentioned, financially it's meaningless, and they're going to go running to try and take this gun away.
You can't understate the importance of taking down Ye in those early rounds. Crashy's not surviving this. Wrecks their economy completely. I mean, they had a potential hero rifle to be saved. Instead, well, you can see potentially Ye. Okay, he's going in for the open light shields. So that's going to be the hero of the round. That needs to be something that pulls them through. But I can't agree with you anymore, Tom. That push that came through on the A side, it just looked too easy. When you've got the numbers there, when, again, you're able to pop your flashes and so on, but it seems like Loud are expecting that. They know, okay, KO was there, smoke is there, now he's able to flash. Let's just spam around the smoke. Oh, look, he's basically dead already. A frustrating round if you're Optic, though, because it feels like they set up for their plan and then never got to actually execute it.
patient default. Well, his impact of taking down Ye in the previous round can't be understated, almost seeming to have a hard read on what he was wanting to do, and almost forces Optic to play slightly more passively until they've actually cleared this man out of position. In the early round, you're going to have this double spot towards short, like basically anti-flash being played by Victor,
आवाज कम कर रहे
the
हैं.
angle being held by Ye. They've got the right read on where this is going, it's whether they can stop them.
This could be so dangerous. It's not the first man or the second. It's the operator of Ye that I'm worried about. He's blinded up though, a fantastic paranoia. Crashies could be a hero here to step in and do some damage, but only the one. The Sheriff, not the gun that you want. And the lead extends even further in the Brazilians' favor as Loud are now 6-1 in the lead. Guaranteed, worst case scenario, an equal half. And knowing how strong they are on the defense with this being their map pick and having taken a title off of Optic for Bind. I mean, the last time that Optic lost, and I mean let me say the last time the players on Optic lost, because they weren't even Optic at the time, it was last year at Champs up against Ascend. Like, they don't lose that map, and when they do, it's to the best teams in the world. Like, for Loud to have that already and now such a strong lead, I mean, we need to see Optic put rounds on the board now.
Yeah, operator in for Ye again. They've been able to counter him in most rounds so far. The utility out, especially from Sadak, the flashes that we're seeing combined with Pancada's paranoia. Marv now looking to get a little bit aggressive as well. They haven't seen anything, but instead the pressure has been going in onto mid. Shock Dart, again, like Crashies has been at least chipping away at a couple of these players, and he's really
Shot,
Sadak.
shot.
The spam through the wall will get them the opener. The question is, can they convert it? And they need to.
That is such a unique early duel. I mean, especially with the shock darts, they seem magnetized to his feet, just landing perfectly on him. Sadak did not have a nice time. And you know, Aspis has stood here, of course, rightfully so, waiting for a re-peek, waiting for something else, and it never comes through. They've pressured A again and again. Optic stay heavy on A, heavy on Wine. They even take Sassy down there, but the objective of this round is to take the B site. The thing is, with limited numbers now, they cannot afford to even end up in trades moving onto the site. They need to be convincing in these duels, and they've been slowed down completely, pushed out of mid. There's only 25 seconds left.
Yeah, they're trying to bait it, but this rotation back is going to be impossible. You've got Marved already playing deep. They're going to have to try and switch this up again. They look like they've got a little bit lost in those rotations. Not the prettiest of fights for less either, and now the remaining two. I don't even know if they had time to get to the site. They definitely don't now. For absolutely nothing for Optic to a Prime Gaming flawless just moments later. They have at least taken their second round, but Mitch, they need so much more.
They really do. That was a fantastic attempt by Loud, by the way. So you have this attempted push and almost fake on the A side. They move to B, they look to go, but then there's so much meeting them on the B side that they have two players run back down on mid. That was Pancada and Aspis. They rush mid, they run up short, they're stampeding. They're letting them know, we're coming back, we're faking it again. And then that's when they try to take the space with Les walking through the smoke to catch them on rotations. The panic on A of, oh, they're coming back, I need help. Everyone moves out of position. Les gets in with a great flank. Unfortunately, that reality isn't the one we live in. They've just been shut down. But fortunately, if you're a North American fan, because that was a round Optic needed, they would have been out of cash completely, and Loud would have ran away with this half. Instead, it's still up for grabs, at least to equalize.
Look, they're using the Killjoy ult just to get rid of that Hunter's Fury. In the meantime, they're looking at pressure on the other side, and Aspas actually gets away with that. Now you have the Hunter's Fury to try and take him down. Marv has nowhere to go. It's a double early opener, but at least there is a trade, a little bit more searched for by Ye. And actually, he's going to get a second Pancada forced out into the open. Brings it back into a 3 versus 3.
Yeah, I mean, he could have just tanked it. It was only a nightfall coming, but instead ends up going down, trying to evade it. Save some extra info. Great lurk again from Les. This guy has been unaccounted for in a number of rounds, and the value found almost every time. Finesse trying to break the door, almost meets his demise. That fight could be everything, and with Finesse down, Ye on 10 HP, this is done. He knows it. He'll pick up the op and run for the hills. Loud may let him save it. A little consolation for the half, now guaranteed to be a loss. 7 rounds on the board for Loud, and a frankly ridiculous start to this map.
Yeah, I'll be honest. Optic are looking out. Like, they're looking like they're going to that lower bracket already. After losing the first map and just the way that Loud have come into this, the opening jewels. And I feel like as well, a lot of the times, even in the last map, where we would see that sort of 3v5, like a couple of rounds go the way of Optic from being down a man, this time Loud looks so much more stabilized. Les has been an absolute demon at just catching them on lurks in every single round. Like we saw him have a fantastic map on Viper. I think he's even better when it comes to the Killjoy. And then, as said, just the amount of assists that is currently just really stacking up for both Sanak and Pancada when it comes to just taking that space, leaving players in the most awkward of fights, that even Ye getting 2 kills off the back of the Operator is not even close to enough for them to win a round.
You can see the frustration on the Optic players' faces there as we swap to the player cams after the replays. Timeout called. No doubt they'll be attempting to reset not just their game plan to get more rounds on there, but also put some more smiles on those faces. I mean, this team is looking dejected right now, 7-2 behind on a half that we, again, at least in theory, expect to be Loud's weakest.
The timeout will at least lead through with a buy afterwards. No Command Online is the only ult bar that Cosmic Divide, which I think Marv has had online for quite a while. Setting up Ye has been a lot of them just trying to almost post him somewhere on the map, have him have that early access, but the fact is with mid control going mostly the way of Loud, they're able to set up these lurks, they're able to set up these splits, but more importantly, they're just taking close range battles that he can't really get involved in. We've seen them so much like fight towards that in the early stages of the round. I want to see that challenge like we did early on from Ye, even though it didn't go well, just something to not allow them all of that control for free.
We had Pancada start this map out incredibly hot. Now Sadik really stepping it up, but for me, Les is the most important player so far, purely because he is consistently changing Optic's game plan. He is a thorn in the side anytime they try to set up. Look at even the last round, the players haven't. Yeah, you have to. You have to. And this is the thing. Some of the other fights you lose, you're like, I lost that duel, that sucks. For Les, it's like you are thinking constantly, where is this guy? What is he doing? Is he behind me? Is he going to push the smoke? Is he... That is so irritating. And if you can get in your opponent's head like that and make them adapt to you, you're already winning. A lot of the time, at least. 2 hostiles detected up close. 1 on the A side, a little further back. This has prompted the ult out of them, the panic ult almost.
They popped it just before. Will force almost a reset, and actually still just leaving 1-man post on the other side. The thing is though, Loud have been very happy to play into the lane. Wait patiently. And now they're going to start splitting back. There's only 1 man on this side. Nobody in position to help out Ye. Is this the round he takes over? It's not looking likely. He's completely surrounded and has to fall back to the side.
Crashies was jump spotting, left it open as they walked on through. Ye is gone, despite that trade back that they had just moments ago. The round seems to be going into Loud's favor, and again it's Les! A quick double seems to secure it. Marv, the last man standing, 1v3, low HP on Sadik, but that's about where the benefits end. Has a Cosmic Divide we don't expect to see used in time. Well, it's the least of his concerns with those numbers against him and a smoke that he'd have to walk through.
Well, of the players left in the tournament coming into today, he did have the highest clutch percentage, but try anything here would be to risk the rifle, and honestly at this stage I wouldn't mind it so much. Of course I don't expect them to necessarily win it, but they need something. This team needs a hero to almost just bring them back from the brink, because at the moment, well, this is probably the most shut down Ye's been the entire tournament, probably.
It's the most shut down I've seen Optic be, I think, just period. I mean, Loud are playing an absolutely incredible game. As we said, you know, sometimes you get these upset games and you're like, I kind of feel oh, that was close. I kind of feel like the favorite team like messed up. They didn't play their best game, like all this sort of stuff. And sometimes that's true, but you cannot take anything away from Loud. They are playing such a clean game. It was tangible from the first half on Bind, and it got even better as we watched this team warm up into the series, whereas Optic, they seem to be ice cold right now, not in a good way.
8-2. The buy from Optic, not the best, but they need to still be going for purchases at this point.
Yeah, the little crouch. He got spotted by the recon, so he just pops a little squat there, like, hey guys, I'm over here, what you gonna do? They've left the A side completely.
Yeah, there are 4 players currently outside of it. They're looking to try and pressure into mid. It's something I mentioned just a round or so ago, that this has been somewhere that has been taken for free, and Loud have adapted. Just patiently waiting. I guess as well, with no aggression from Ye, which has been a staple of this A site, there's at least less information. Well, Crashy's just trying to hold on to that cross. I imagine he's just going to try and catch somebody as they go past the door. But with spotting absolutely no one, the knife not even going to connect onto anything, this is probably going to be quite confusing on the other side.
He doesn't get this again. They've destroyed the turret. They know he should be close by. He's in the corner. Damage done, but no kills. Optic coming ahead now, 5 versus 3. They've lost the site. They may well concede a plant as well. The retake is set up to be in their favor. They've got a Cosmic Divide as well, and that basically forces Loud to play on site.
Already looking to make their move back through. The Horn only going to give them a little bit of information, but this is looking much better from Optic. Sassy, 1 versus 5. Maybe to put the final nail in the coffin. He's looking for the lineup, and while body blocked and taken out by Marv. A much better round from them. A complete, almost takedown of everything that was being attempted on the other side. And I like the idea, especially from Crash. He's just basically, my job is get 1 kill on the cross. And that's exactly what he did. Another Prime Gaming flawless, by the way. 2 of the rounds that they've won have been flawless. But every time, Loud swung back instantly.
Oh, yeah. And I mean, to be honest, the adaptation alone is just a great face. Get rid of Les, send a player with Ye, make sure he's gone. You keep Ye alive in the late round, fantastic. But if Les comes up behind you at any point, and you know he will, and this is the thing. So I said Les has been forcing them to change. He's been getting in their heads in that sense. Well, now he's been shut down on that. And he's going to have to change his position a little bit. Could have off-put the pace of the round. Last one of the half.
They're
and Loud
again. The 3-man stack into mid, the exact same thing out, and by the looks of it, they're looking to pick up the pace. Now the difference is, because they've thrown in that null command, I don't think he can do the same recon. So that just means that they're going to have this site almost for free, and Crashy's desperately hoping to try and find someone around the edge of the door, but he won't.
Okay, this could be a problem. Still the Cosmic Divide. So you know these players are going to remain on site. Les, not again! He's changed it up again and again! Ye is shut down! He's not given a chance to play the round! Loud have the advantage, and they played on site. This Cosmic Divide doesn't lock them out nearly as much as Optic would hope it does. Instead, they're willing to fight, losing the duels. 2 versus 3. Only the men underneath now remain, with Pancada finding 1, and Sassy tripling up in the round. We will end up at 9-3. Loud have put on one of the best performances on this attack side that I've seen from them. This is scary if you're a North American fan.
Yeah, as I said, I want to reiterate, over the last 3 times they played this, they are 21-3 in terms of their defensive rounds. They go in with one of the best attacking halves we've probably ever seen, and now they go onto their favored side of the map. It is going to be a brutal uphill battle for Optic to get back into this series. And while I want to know if there's anybody on the desk who believes they can do it.
Thank you very much, Mitch. And Tom, 9 rounds on the attack. Mimi, this is a dream start for Loud.
Yeah, it has been a dream indeed. And one of the guys leading the charge for this squad has been Sadak. I've been really impressed with Loud being able to consistently just lean into these 4-1 executes where Optic realizes where they're going and still they're getting away with the rounds. I think a big part of it has been this guy. He's really good to help Auspis being that second entry and setting him up with those flashes. Marv is always anchoring towards A, and you have those deep flashes to be able to shut down. But on top of that, Loud's adaptations have been great.
Yeah, I think, honestly, Loud starting off with that A main control, making sure that Astra's pressured and making sure that it's the hardest place for Optic to get info back. Then they end up going back, pushing A off middle, and then they end with an A execute. Knife goes in. It means any util gets thrown out. They can't throw util for another 8 seconds. Loud wait, and then they just hit again with an Omen flash and all the other util. Job done.
One of my biggest, one of the things I love the most about how Loud approach that as well is they don't commit to the A hit and get caught by any utility that wasn't turned off. They just hold and wait for all of those swings to come out. And this now puts insane pressure upon Optic heading into the next half. And when you look at how they've been playing their attack side, I think Ye's been the most interesting part of it. This is attack side kills from Ye, and he's getting a lot of kills in their spawn. He's going and working mid in a lot of these rounds, and the rest of the team pivots around him to set him up for these looks. Kind of how FPX plays with Forsaken. The problem is, I mean, this is just almost an unwinnable spot. Loud are averaging 9 rounds on defense this year. That is just absurd. Yeah, he can't do all of that.
Yeah,
Optic can't do all of that.
It has to be an entire team effort for them to even have a chance in this one. But we saw some moments. They take that nice retake at the end of that half. The fans are chanting for them. For once, Optic has a crowd behind them.
Oh,
and now the grand final, having that clean run, it relies on this half. It relies on a miracle.
I honestly think it's just about this pistol round. If Optic get this pistol round, it's like what I'd be thinking about. I can bring it back, boys. I can do some nice calls here. We can work the map, and we can end it.
Miracle. At the end of that half, final, having that clean run, it relies on this half. It relies on a miracle.
All right, Tom, I don't want to get your hopes up, but...
Well, Boast is right here, I was about to say.
Loud of 93%.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Yeah, so we mentioned this coming into the game. We heard it from the desk, like, this is the half we expect Loud to put up the most numbers. That's not possible. They're going to put up 4 and it's done. And
unless we go to mega OTs.
Crowd is behind Optic, that's for sure. We need this pistol to go their way. Loud have won 2 out of 3 of them with big individual performances stepping it up. Not even the game plan that took it across the line. For Optic, they're taking it slowly. You know, you can feel how much this round means to them. This is not one that they go into and look for some loose kills. They need to take every advantage they can possibly get here. Going into a stack.
3 players and a 4th looking to hold on to the cross. Victor, he's having trouble just breaking the turret. Timmy surviving far longer than he should, and he gets hit by a shock dart. Akbas already demolishing 2 members. It is a shambles on the way through, but Marv might have just rectified it. The ping up is going to give some information, but the trades are so good on the side of Loud. They're low though. There's a chance. Pancada, if he goes down, it could be a problem. But Aspas, 4 kills in the pistol round, double digits for Loud. And while they are moments away from getting themselves into the grand final again.
It certainly seems that way. A tale as old as time between these 2 teams. That rivalry not going to end in in North America's favor for now, it seems. Another pistol that follows the same pattern. We had a 4K, a 3K, a 4K, individuals on Loud, stepping it up. You can see Optic in a moment, they get a little bit tunnel visioned into finding those kills, expecting this is the last guy on the site, but then there's 2 more. They ran into the stack and realized it too late, and now they're left to classics. This should be 11 rounds for Loud, and then a basically flawless half if Optic are to have any chance in this series.
I feel like there's very few believers at this point.
The crowd seems to.
The crowd will them on. I'll say that. Okay, but Ye's managed to win a battle. Stadak's probably going to want that one deleted from the VOD, but it doesn't matter. His teammates are there. As said, we've got so many strong performers on this squad. And now it's on to Finesse. He's even getting spammed up. Would need some classic magic, and it isn't happening. Still a decent round,
sure.
But in the context of things, I don't know how much difference it will make.
Yeah, it's a silver lining at best, but you got to capitalize on it. And so far, Optic have struggled to get anything on the board. We have rounds where Ye's pulling up 2 kills with an AWP, and then they still just get rolled over, coming into site pushes. Victor had that fantastic 2K, and
He's
since then, yep.
Oh no.
It's been shaky. And I don't know what's leading to it, but Loud are playing some of the best Valorant I've seen out of this region, out of this team.
They're pushing both extremities.
Of anyone.
They've got so much control already, and with the weaker weapons, this is just the perfect positioning for them to be in. They're not going to be able to take any of that control, and instead, mid. It's going to be 4. Oh, it's not gone well for Marv. That's going to be a rifle into the hands of his opponents, and they only came into this with mostly stingers.
Oh, and Aspas even shuts down Ye. Another rifle to be retrieved. Control and a trap gone, which means no information for Optic anymore. There are 3 players stacked up on A, and they basically need to commit to it. Crashies is kept out for a moment, but okay, they've got Static. Now they can look towards the site. You've got an Omen here. They know that. The paranoia already put out, and so he's the last man standing on the site. As he goes down, it's a 2v2, but look at Crashies. My man has got 1 health left. Victor. He had a 2K earlier on. He had 2 more kills since. We need to see this as a round where he delivers, because I don't think Crashies is going to have it in him to win these duels. Luckily, there's no damage dealing utility, so they will have to do it with the bullets.
Timmy disagrees. One bullet from the turret could be enough. It means there can't really be a swing, and they're just looking to try and play off of each other. Victor almost just going to hide in the corner, trying to use Crashies as bait, so they won't check it the second time. And he is still just lurking around this angle. Does Aspas actually go back in for this peek? He does, but he loses the fight. And they know roughly where Les is going to be. He's just sticking this defusal, looking to try and get it away! And he lets go and lands the headshot! This man has been unstoppable this series. And 12 and 9 match points go the way of Loud.
This is looking over. It was already there, but this round, the insult to injury, the stick that comes through, and then he just pulls off it after a whiffed swing from Victor. Great kill onto Aspas, but look at this. 2 bullets fired. He didn't commit. And then he swings back out into the bullets, into the pre-fire. 9 chances to close this out. Loud have kept this energy up from step 1, and this guy's got an Odin in his hand. Sassy, I love you, man. Scary thing to play up against, that's for sure. And a judge for Sadek. Of course, yeah. No, naturally.
Finesse. Taking a little bit of early space. Aspas, the thing is, he's been hit, but it might give the bait that there's not a second player there, and they're almost being funneled towards this judge. It does seem like Optic are going to lose this game, but you don't want to lose it to that gun.
Not like this. Okay, Victor's making a good call. Well, maybe not. I mean, there is an op here, and the bullets ringing out from Les. They're a distraction. They were to hide the fact that Aspas was here. He will tank that KO knife. Nowhere to go. No utility to get him out.
They all got hit by the knife on the other side, so they know that basically the entirety of Optic are in mid. They have 40 seconds to play with. Aspas, he lights them up! A collapse that has probably put Optic to bed here. Crashy's even taken to half HP, and it's left onto him to try and clutch this out. But Aspas has had enough. A knife needed to be connected, but instead it's less to put them down. Loud dominates Optic to make their way through to the final, and we already know we're heading to Brazil at the beginning of next year. Loud want to take a trophy there.
They want to go with the crown into the next year. What a fantastic display. Map number 1 was Optics. We knew it from the get-go, but they came through and delivered so far beyond what we expected, putting Brazil on the map for the millionth time, getting themselves into the grand final. They might have a rematch on their hands, but after their performance here today, I think anybody will be scared to face Loud. This team has decimated Optic. 13-3, a loss the likes of which they haven't felt for a long time.
But that's the thing, we talk about Brazil as a region as being very top-heavy. There's been the Vikings before them, and now Loud leading the way, but I imagine if you're one of the teams from that region right now, you're going to see, this is what we have to play against week in, week out. This is who we have to try and beat to qualify every single time. They looked unstoppable today. And again, this is the thing we've said the whole tournament. It isn't one superstar. We're not looking at an Aspas. We're not looking at maybe a Durka. We're not looking at someone having to just win or basically put up crazy numbers every single time. The fact is, we have seen every single member of this Loud squad step up. Even just looking at the frags, it's like 5 between top and bottom, and every single member had their impact. The supportive players of Sadek and Pancada have had world-class matches throughout this event, and honestly, at this tournament, this looks like the most complete team.
That is for sure. You can have 1, 2, maybe even 3 players have a bad day. It doesn't matter. There's always someone to pick up the slack. And the reality is, every time these guys have played, it's gone to 3 maps at least. I mean, it was 3-0 even in a BO5 to Optic. Never have they been dealt a hand like this. Unbelievable stuff from Loud from the get-go. And I mean, sure, there's a couple of rounds that came close that could have put more on the board for Optic. But even if they win a couple more clutches, it just looked too solid from Loud. They were in control from the get-go, and they never let their hands off the reins.
But that's the thing, this is also for Optic their first loss within the tournament. Sure, they've had maps go in the other direction, but it seems like this feud between these two teams it's just going to continue to go. And obviously, if you're an Optic fan, if you're a North American fan, this isn't them out of the tournament. This is just sending them into the lower bracket, which means we could have the matchup of the miracle story of DRX looking to try and take them down, or we could have the champions of the first Masters versus the champions of the second Masters to try and go and play against that best team within Brazil. Either way, we have got stories and play against that best team with forward in this tournament.
Between each side of the stage there, you can see the frustration as Optic take their headsets off.
Don't blame them.
They're flinging paper across. I can only imagine what was written on that, possibly something for the celebration. It won't be happening this time. And you know, the desk said, I think it was Sideshow that said, this rivalry has been alive for a long time and it's not going anywhere coming into next year. I think they've just cemented that. Optic will not forget this game for quite a while. MVP vote time. Scan the QR code down below for your in-zone MVP, Aspis, Les, Pancata, or a coach in there for one of the first times.
To be honest, I don't really blame them at this point. Like,
yes,
this man has been leading the way in terms of just pushing this team forward and basically just seeing that consistent improvement from the squad. Again, I feel like it's a tough choice either way because you could have put anybody on that list, but that's why it's down to you guys. You get to decide who is going to be that player of the match, and obviously that is us done for this event, but there is so much more to come even today. DRX versus FPX.
कल शायद FPX ऑप्टिक होगा, मेरे को लग रहा है. अपन चालू करता. Valorant. Valorant. Ta 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 ta. अबे स्क्रीन दिखा बास्केट एट टटी. ये अच्छा है भाई, ये अच्छा है, ये अच्छा है. पर मैं ना टट्टी बोलता उसको. हमारे की जीवन तेरी. वॉकिंग का एक आईडी किसमें प्लेट 3 पे है और दूसरा आईडी है D2 पे शायद ना. हारा था एक गेम D2 पे. अकेला है, बाकी सब मैं देख डायमंड लॉबी में सिर्फ एक छोड़ेगा. डायमंड लॉबी मैं चुतिया हमला काटे ठीक. बहुत हारा भाई ये वाला. ये 30 टन होली के साथ वो यहाँ उसके बाद खेला हारा. एक ही 2 खेला दोनों हारा फटे. विशाय करते हैं टैपमैन डायमंड 3 बे. Watermelon sugar. I want to be. इसका नाम क्या है भाई? ये Watermelon. Watermelon good. घंटे आपका 1 सेकेंड तो ये बंद हो जाएगा वैलोरेंट शायद जो यूट्यूब इधर से देखता हूँ चालू भी नहीं होगा ना जल्दी फक देवा देवा हो देवा
Match found.
फल
You have good taste, my friend.
धीमे 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 चिकल उसके ही पास जाने तब मुझिक बड़ी में आर्टिकल उसके ही खबर पास में जाने तो तुम ये कदम डायमंड लॉबी शायद आज
I have lied, beaten, killed to survive. I will kill again and again.
A gift. That's a good spot. This should do.
Here be.
We turn to dust. Enemy spotted B.
Multiple. Wall तोड़ रहा है.
Too slow.
I think at least 2 guy B side के बना.
Fuck that shit.
Last player standing.
Poison's off.
हाँ? घरी थोडी लोअर ब्रॅकेट. घरी काय घरी? घरी नाही. फायनल लोअर ब्रॅकेट आहे. काय दिवस खराब चालतो तुझ्या.
Even with numbers, anything can still happen. Remember that.
फर्स्ट मॅप तरी चांगली झाली. सेकंड मॅप वन साइड झाली. चालूच दिला नाही. एक पण झाला नाही. विक्टरने तर हेडफोन फेकून टाकले हारल्यानंतर खाली.
A. Multiple.
आता FPX आणि DRX चांगली होणार खूप.
Enemy spotted A.
जर FPX जिंकली तर मजा आहे.
Spike planted.
DRX जिंकली पाहिजे. DRX ऑप्टिकल DRX जिंकला तर नवीन चॅम्पियन्स भेटेल DRX लाऊड मध्ये. लाऊड नाही जिंकली.
Last player standing. Long.
Second loss भेटेल. हा ना 1%, 3%.
Reina, time to hunt.
माहिती ना का भेटेल एवढा. Die for you.
I'm gonna save.
धीमे.
Together.
That works. All set up.
B.
Can you kill Cheeber?
Spike planted.
Prepare for hellfire.
They're dead.
One enemy remaining.
Enemy spotted B.
I'm too far.
Reloading.
We will claw our way back up to
The light.
Shield try करू की नको करू?
Can someone get this?
मैं चैम्बर ड्रॉप देख सकता.
Thank you.
ले भाई
A gift. This should do.
Enemy spotted A. Reloading.
Enemy spotted.
My ult's not ready.
Still in sight.
There they are. I win again.
Spike planted.
Wait. मैं back tap जाना.
Cutting their vision.
Healing you.
Reloading.
One enemy remaining.
काम
Flawless.
आहे की नाही?
How did they sink this within?
Win.
जेड भी
Show
मेरा
me
ही
where
देख
to go.
61 लगा उसको.
That's a good spot. Here.
Software advance.
धीमे 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 चिकल.
Get out of my way!
B.
Enemy spotted B. Multiple enemies B.
Top mid.
फक पे क्या लग कर रहा बोल.
Mid.
ये जा रहे.
यार
ओके छोड़ दो
आ गए.
Spike planted. Last player standing.
Brain is gone.
Trust me, say we'll make mistakes. When's does anyone have funds?
भाई बार ड्रॉप देगा मैं बाय कर रहा हूँ.
Need a drop.
Merci. Out of charges. That works.
अरे बताते जाओ ये जा रहे.
All set up.
A.
सब है क्या?
Prepare for hellfire.
The hunt begins.
आई थिंक ये AR है.
Enemy spotted A.
Reloading.
Spike down A.
Enemy spotted A.
Enemy spotted A.
Miracle's ready.
तो पीछे से आया था भाई. नेक्स्ट स्टेप क्या है? Mid.
This should do.
Seconds left.
B.
Spike planted. One enemy remaining.
No charges left. Oh, was that important? I'm amped. Let's go. I got things to do. Can someone get this?
मुझे ड्रॉप दे सकता है?
Thank you. I'm taking point.
A gift. Perfect.
Mid. Nice one.
चेंबर भी था और एक एक मिनट
I have them.
Enemy spotted mid.
वाइपर तेरा वॉल डाउन कर सकता है क्या?
Bobby done. Still mid.
Enemy spotted mid. Parasite.
Teleport.
One enemy remaining.
No, one.
Spike spotted mid.
Okay, which gun
ये
to
राउंड
pick
भी लगा
this
रहा हूँ, ये राउंड भी
time?
लगा रहा हूँ, एक राउंड। रिवील तोड़ेगा मेरा कोई तो शिव रिवील तोड़ देना मेरा।
Great ask.
Need a drop. Thanks.
कोई तो रिवील तोड़ दो बस प्लीज।
कहाँ?
That's a good spot.
एमएन रिवील आएगा।
मे बी ऊपर।
Who will I spot
इधर
first?
तो आता है, मैंने देखा नहीं बड़ा रिवील होता है इतना पता है, आ गया है तो।
हाँ।
All set up.
Watch this.
B.
Don't get in my way.
I'm too far. I'm too far.
Enemy spotted B. Ugh.
ये फीड मिड पे थी, फीड मिड पे।
Fed mid.
Enemy spotted B.
They found my
एक
trap.
गए उधर गए।
Okay.
Teleport's
एक
ready.
पे बाकी सब गए होंगे.
पिक कर ले उसको।
सेज गो
वॉल से अटक रखा हूँ. वॉल
सेज
अटका.
जा भाई, उधर जा. ए पर स्मोक.
बी स्मोक. बी दो.
Many enemies B.
30 seconds left.
Enemy in a feather spot.
10 benefit. Going.
मेन से आ रहा है कि किधर से?
भाई उधर ही है सेज.
लिंक से आएगा.
नो टाइम.
किधर से?
10 seconds left. Last player standing.
या माइक छोड़ दिया, सॉरी।
Prepare yourselves. We fight once again.
Need a drop.
That works. In we go. Perfect.
Mid. B.
I'm too far.
साइड पूरा दे दिया ऊपर।
Satisfying.
Spike planted.
Your duty is not over.
That was unpleasant. You want to
Face your
play?
fear!
Let's play. Teleport's ready.
Wall raised. Get out of my way!
Enemy spotted B.
Blasphemy.
One enemy remaining.
This place is nice, but not nice enough to die in. Let's win and get out of here.
They are so dead.
Need a drop. Thanks.
A gift. All set up.
Art.
Here. Here.
The hunt begins.
Good attempt.
Here.
Art.
Here.
बी कोई गैर कर रहा है
बी पे पता नहीं ब्रो.
One enemy remaining.
Spike
down mid. 30 seconds
तेरे पास
left.
आ रहा है इसे.
Here.
I'm the worst bro. Bro B पे हो.
बी पे आओ
हाँ B link.
Spike planted.
वो पीछे
There's a
गया,
gun bro. Gun.
पीछे गया.
A gun. साथ पे खेले Sage as
Teleport's
well.
ready.
Last player standing.
VCT needs me. I can't be away for long. Let's end this.
आता ते बी खेळता येईन
Eco.
Okay.
That's a good spot. Bonne chance, mes amis. This should do.
तोड़ना
B.
गया अब.
Enemy spotted B.
2-4 भाई
Multiple
इधर.
enemies B.
One less.
Reloading. Enemy spotted.
Spike down B. One enemy remaining.
Long.
Cutting their vision.
Or ramps.
Teleport's ready.
Nice Eco.
क्या मारा बेट
Last round in the half.
Spend everything. Don't be cheap.
Need a drop. Thanks.
Perfect.
ओ भाई
A sound A.
That works.
ए पे
Enemy spotted B.
Get out of my way.
Spotted B.
Here.
Enemy spotted A.
There they are.
Unavoidable.
Enemy spotted A.
काय हगलो
Prepare for hellfire.
2B पे.
ए दो ए पे दो
Spike
दो
planted.
दो बी
Last player standing.
आटो
Switching sides.
I hate to say it, but probably best to play as a team.
What's the plan?
आ जाना
इधर भी ए जाते मैं तो बोलता हूँ
अभी जाके ये जाते चलो
एक जगह फेक कर सकते हो ऐसा
A gift.
भी फेक करो सेज मेरे साथ प्लान करने आ जा स्लोली रिवील मत होना ये पे बस
Let's fly.
इधर होल्ड कर
Here.
आजा आजा सेज
Enemy spotted B.
नाइस
Enemy spotted B.
Reloading.
आजा आजा इधर आ जाओ
All set up.
Wall raised.
प्लान कर जल्दी आओ इधर हेलो
Spike planted.
लाइन अप देख वाइपर
Here.
अबे बैंड वाइपर बोलना
हटा
Here.
Tick.
क्या कोई पीछे है?
टू साइड
Enemy down.
One enemy remaining.
I don't die so.
Once more into battle. I'm not tired.
जो सेरिफ
Are you? Here.
अभी सब ए चलो
Isolate them and kill them.
That's a good spot. Here.
Still inside. Cutting their vision.
Oops. Flag planted. Reloading.
Here.
बॉल बना ले
Someone's in defender spawn.
One enemy remaining.
I have them.
55 max them.
Toxin screen down.
Enough of your technology. The future is radiant. Reloading.
If any of you die, I lose a bet with Brimstone, so don't embarrass me like that, please.
अभी तेज क्या कर रहा है ब्रो
That works.
ब्रो टट्टी करना जाना है तो बोल देता ब्रो ये कुछ शिट ऑन मी ब्रो Oh, he came back.
Spike dropped.
Enemy spotted B.
Here.
I have the spike.
Here.
Behind me. Come.
Barrier created.
Defender spawn.
Here.
Brain.
Flag planted. Healing you. Gun here.
Seven hit Brim.
Last player standing.
Blocking sight. Blocking sight. Enemy kill. Time to stock back up.
A gift. Does anyone have funds?
Here.
Who will I spot first?
Okay, bro. नजदीक है bro.
Many enemies say.
Two, at least 3.
Still in sight. Run here.
कवर दे आया पास में से झील कर
Trap destroyed. Here.
Last player standing.
Just take the plant, bro. Just take the plant.
Light planted. Barrier created.
A.
If you are not doing well, keep trying. We must keep up appearances.
I'm buying.
That's a good spot.
Forward.
All set up. Away!
Enemy spotted B. Enemy spotted B.
Teleport's broken.
One enemy remaining.
For you.
nice line up Viber nice line up
I'm learning, bro. Don't mind.
अच्छा ओके
Bro, किया मैं. कुमार को मार दो.
डिफ्यूजिंग कर रहा है
Teleport's ready.
Look your enemy in the eye. It helps with accuracy. Need a drop.
Need a drop.
That works.
Thank you.
Don't worry, bro.
Thanks.
आगे आया. Middle.
Spike drop.
Yikes. Your duty is not
Bro,
over.
lol.
Prepare for hellfire! This should do it.
Let's go.
Cutting their vision. Reloading.
Guys, let's go B. Let's go B. Sis, come. Fall back.
I've entered, bro.
Sis, fall back. Chamber from B.
Spotted A.
Get out of my way.
Bro, one dog.
Spike is down. Teleport's ready.
Spike down B. Last player standing. 30 seconds left. Ten seconds left.
Okay, we know the drill. Stick to your roles and we'll crush it.
A gift.
Can someone get this?
In we go. Perfect.
I have the spike. Gun here. Enemy spotted B.
One with.
Still in sight. Still in sight.
Last player standing. Spike down mid.
They will cover.
Thirty seconds left.
I have the spike.
You can go fast, eh? Nice try.
These guns we use are okay, but I will also...
Reload.
No offense. That's a good spot. They are so dead! All set up. Here.
The hunt begins.
Opponent killed. Healing you. Gun here. Here.
Here.
Go mid. Mid go.
Thirty seconds left.
Spike is down.
Spike down B.
Can you come in?
Can you come in?
10 seconds left. One enemy remaining.
I have the
Spike
spike.
down B. Clutch.
Viper. Must you always play with your food?
I can buy for you, my treat.
Thanks.
That works.
Here. I'll take everything from that.
Enemy spotted
GG.
B. Reloading.
Easy.
Reloading.
Wait. Don't it away. I have still time, bro.
Reloading.
This should do.
Cutting their vision.
Wall raised. Face your fear!
Spike planted.
Last player standing.
Turn. 120 by 120
Match point.
They're just batteries.
I need a recharge.
A gift.
Get out of my way!
Reloading. Reloading.
Reloading.
I've dropped the spike.
Can you heal me?
I have the spike.
More not.
Switch.
He doesn't have sound.
Enemy
Bro.
spotted.
Type.
I need aid.
You want to play? Let's play.
Last player standing.
Misery. Everybody wants to be mine.
30 seconds left.
Goodbye. Don't get in my way. Spike planted. Poison orb emitting.
Defenders win.
Misery. Everybody wants to be mine. क्या पता क्या मैचिंग था भाई जीजी आपने एक सेकंड गाइस, अगर स्ट्रीम बंद हो गया तो नो बर्चू.
Running?
Yeah.
ओ भाई चालू भी हो
That
गया.
FPX kind of gave up on. Yet so far, it's not showing up in the
भाई इतना
scoreline.
जल्दी चालू हो गया.
Now it's DRX who call an early timeout. We're still in the first half. But interesting to see that really off of just this one round that went in favor of FPX, DRX decides to throw the brakes on this thing. And we've seen a couple of times throughout the tournament the galaxy brain chess moves that this guy on your screen can pull off in these timeouts. Remember how he's burned 2 of them back to back once he has a read on a situation. To be a fly on the wall right now in those
Mako Stacks,
absolute legend. I think definitely cementing himself here as well.
Mako and Stacks क्या खेले भाई. फनाटिक दोनों ने मार किए.
And the interesting thing so far about this game, obviously these two teams gave us the best map of the tournament so far.
दोनों ने मार किए रे बाबा.
In playoffs. Fnatic gone, but still here in spirit. The first engagement that they had, FPX, we're winning a lot of those clutches. We're winning a lot of those crazy moments. So far, DRX are the only guys who've really shown up in that regard, except for that last round there with Zipon.
Yeah.
Remember, Artis started off that round, and RB just walked through a wall. Look at this FPX, complete A-side, open. They're just using the Prowler to get Artis set up here. Sugetsu finally rotates in, but they get the wall so they can funnel him in.
DRX maybe okay with that. Look, RB and Stacks are both up top already. Excuse me. Yeah, it all works out. Angel's already fallen. Wall goes up. Remember how important that's been to their success. There's got to be a challenge. You can't let him swing. And RB does not. Now Viper's Pit that they're going to have to navigate. A 5v3 in favor of DRX off of the timeout. And it seems gorgeous. Full control in this round. Full control in this site. Can Zipon do anything about it? Artis still has the op, trying to find something free.
That's what they're trying to call it right now, trying to get out of there.
Yeah.
And flashbacks to that last retreat they had, though, where they lost 2 immediately. That's not going to be the case.
No, they're gone, man. They're out. Can Stacks find anything?
He might be dead. Yeah, he's just dead.
I mean, the op is going to hold this angle, right? Surely. Oh no.
What?
Oh, no.
I mean, you don't expect a little random attacker to walk out of your own spawn.
Well then.
Could end up being a pivotal miss.
Yeah, perhaps ominous.
If they can't break the economy at some point this game, this half. I mean, RB, man, this guy has been phenomenal this event. Always been the punching bag, I think, of most DRX fans and critics alike.
Absolutely.
But this role swap has worked, and obviously now in the top 4, in the lead so far. 2 rounds, he just walks through and gets entries against top-tier players here.
And again, if he doesn't swing and get that kill, the spike doesn't get planted. That was enormous. This time, DRX pushing towards Belong. They're all here, with the exception of Mako, who's making sure there's no one on the field. They're gonna go here. No ultimates on the side of FPX. Sugetsu's close. Zimon's already gotten one. Oh my goodness, they've just mowed them down.
Nothing to break that high-low setup. Just nothing. They had too many players there to break, obviously, the haunt that went out from Zest, and there's just nothing else.
Yeah. Now with 50 seconds left, you wonder how DRX want to approach this. They've got plenty of money. I mean, they're sitting cozy. But they're just so outnumbered.
Oh.
That's going to help.
Angel, a misstep.
Ooh, that nade. Oh, it didn't hit him at all. Hard is holding back yellow at the top. Res through, and that's going to cause everyone to swing.
Good attention there with that nade for Zipon. Just to clear back yellow so they can go for that res. Either way, doesn't really matter, but they did invest it. And it's a couple rounds left. Maybe you can get one more up for Shout.
That feels like a stretch, though. Yeah, it feels like a whole.
Yeah, it felt like that round was already won.
Yeah,
you know?
I agree with you. A little bit of time to pull off a lot if you want to get Shao into the res here.
I mean, there were still 2 players up, so let's see though. Sugetsu swapped now over towards this B side completely. Last round he was paired up with the 2 who had that high-low setup.
Remember here, the last time they pushed into Artis with the op here on 8, he found a lot of value. He wasn't able to close out the round, but he had gotten 2 kills.
They're doing a great job disrupting him, though. That slow that's landing top pipes, that's Artis' most preferred position to peek from. So instead, he has to find other ways. The top gen peek or down below. And obviously, that's just as risky as well.
All right, and the Prowler clears that out.
Denying Artis any of that early space that he wants. And as Chamber, it's really hard to get back in there without taking immense risks.
And that's exactly what he's doing.
Teleport's ready.
Now he's got the rendezvous set up so he can get away safely.
And knife from RP is up again, though. Yeah, he has to get out.
They're being very calculated about Artis. You're absolutely right. And you saw it there again. But you can't keep him down for long, can ya?
And normally the... Oh, my goodness.
It was a quick swing up from RB. But Artis gives the space back up. You see him trying to spam through that wall up in net.
That's going to get... Oh, my goodness. He has
almost got spammed, and there's Ben with the ult. The Phantom gets 1, not able to get the second. 4v3 in favor of FPX.
Stax has his res. It's behind the wall right now. They want to go for it. They're going for it.
But Artis is still a problem, but it was a bait. Sugetsu cannot do it all on his own. And he gets plant money.
And mistakes were made here in this round by DRX. I mean, they didn't have the presence that they normally
सर्व
do.
हावरे त्या रेजला मारला झाले तिला मारत नाही त्याला मारतात हावरे झाले
Almost completely because he still gets more value, but
Phil. Yeah, that's absolute Phil.
त्या फनाटिकच्या मॅचेस उडत येतो स्टॅक्स त्या दिवशी तो आणि माको
absolute peak.
Last round of the half, and he seems to be having a good time. Really, all of DRX.
लाव वना गिव्हर पैसे लाव
Up 3 in the first
DRX जिंकणार लाव
FPX's map hit.
बघ तू अरे बघ जिंकणार आज
Knife there designed to instantly find Artis. The tour de force up now in this last round. Doesn't find him though, so they know potentially he's lurking here.
He's a cheeky little setup.
Wow.
Artis holding the slow.
मेजर चालू होता ना त्या 2023
Close by up top.
They have a potential to pounce here.
फायनल लाव लावडा जिंकेल
RP
फायनल
continues to throw. If they
फायनल
wait
लावड
for it,
जिंकेल
Artis can stick it. and
DRX
Chipmunk
मध्ये
can
DRX
jump on
जिंकणार
top pipes here.
About 15 seconds roughly before he gets it back.
ऑप्टिक पण भाई काय भरोसा नाही तिथे भरेल त्याला फायनल मध्ये जाऊन चांगली टीम आहे म्हणजे हाय चांगली
Actually, it's up right now.
जर FPX जिंकली ना तर 2022 अनडिफिटेड मग FPX रेवेजिक पण जिंकणार चॅम्पियन्स दोन्ही जिंकणार
Angel's looking close by. Oh, and they just dropped the Haunt in there too.
मास्टर चॅम्पियन्स दोन्ही जिंकेल मला लगा
Rotations start to come through.
सेंटिनल्स पहिली टीम आहे दोन्ही जिंकणार आणि आता हे लोक
Prowler
म्हणजे
clear him out. They spotted the knife, and that should give them some space. But they're going to repeat. They're going to go right back into it. Angel's already fallen, but Zipman's still here. And there are 2 beneath them right before him. And Zipman does it again. He's got 4 on the round. Mako's not around either. What a play from the duelist.
जी दोन्ही होणार हेल रेंजर वट्सल आणि मी पाचशे गेले दिसलेले आज आता ऑप्टिकच्या मॅच मध्ये
Unreal.
एमी आणि
A couple of taps. Swinging into, I mean, obviously,
आपण काय बघ काय लिहिलंय
gun out, but still just gorgeous stuff.
I mean, to get 4
काय लिहिलंय
there,
म्हणजे
to have gotten 3 and then to re-swing and challenge that angle again. Oh, what a half. What a play. Let's throw it down to the desk. Chrissy.
रुजिंद्रने लिहिलेलं अपना टाइम आएगा असं काहीतरी लिहिलेलं रील बनवली आहे
Thank you so much, Doug. What a massive half. It
बेन
is
काय
going
आला
to
मध्ये
be
बूस्टर होता तर बेन काय
ugly
आला
out there. This is a real competition.
पैसे सोडत नाही कोण
see the back and forth between these two teams, man. Like, and you can
कपडे बघ त्याची बाप रे
well prepped the DRX is when they're executing into the site, and how happy
अरे
FPX
बाप रे
play back and just play that retake with them every time.
I'm you know, not too worried yet, mainly because this guy.
पैसे दिले सलामीला की मेरा प्रमोशन कर चाहिए
And this is the kind of performance that we need to see from him. Maka was utterly impeccable. He was a big part of why they were able to win versus Fnatic.
And right now with the performance that he is showing, it's just crazy to see how he's able to close out these rounds time and time again.
Yeah, he's been so incredible in these clutches, but FPX's great, game plans were great as well, Benkai.
Yeah, as you can see from this pistol round over here, they started off with a beautiful C-Snake, and then you could see them using the elevation to just push in front and create space for that Sage to put up their wall and get that defuse in.
Yeah, really good stuff out of them. You even see they have the deep orb there to lean into the retake, a Sage wall up to close things out. FPX is really solid with this composition, and the first time that I saw this Raze fade that they were showing on this map, I wasn't a huge fan of it. I felt like they struggled to shut down the plants, but they really were playing well to the win conditions here. Although, as we look ahead towards our second half now, I think the player to keep our eyes on is definitely Sugetsu. He's been really, really stellar for this team throughout their run at the tournament, and I think on Icebox in particular, he's really enabled when he plays on this Viper role, particularly on this attacking side. He's a big part of when they're scaling into these sites, being one of those guys
Sugetsu.
getting the trades to them, and also having those rounds where he
Sugetsu.
leads into the lurk. You can see some of those kills that he's getting out towards mid.
Yeah, I mean, coming into this matchup, two of the players that I was
काय माहिती काय आईस क्यूब नसेल स्पंज असेल म्हणजे बोट थरथर कधी कधी होत असेल ना व्हायब्रेट राउंड कसे एकदम क्लोज होतात कधी कधी होत असेल हा आईस क्यूब असतं तर मग हात ओले असेल माऊस थोडी वापरला स्पंज आहे म्हणजे सॉफ्ट स्पंज आहे माझ्या हिशोबाने
Well, it's certainly going to be an exciting second half of the game, and maybe we'll get a map.
नाही तर मग घाम येत असेल म्हणून पुसायला पण असेल
Between these two teams, let's throw it back to Doug.
हा ना स्टॅक्स तो स्टॅक्स आणि माको दोघांनीच मॅच काढली आहे फनेटिक समोर ऑलमोस्ट 2v4 2v3 रिटेक
between these two teams where they've just tried to one up each other consistently, and now we're going to get the chance to see it again, this time with FPX on attack.
डिझर्विंग आहे DRX जिंकली तर ही मॅच
Undefeated
फायनल
this year in lower bracket runs. An 8-0 record. That's pretty good.
I mean,
I'd take those odds.
If they pull off another lower bracket run, that's just, I mean, they're already so deep that it's unbelievable. Almost every other team in the world would have crumbled at this point.
Sheesh.
Spotted a lot of players. He takes a little bit of damage, manages to get away. Meanwhile, Sugetsu's playing back.
लोगों विदाउट ड्युलिश खेळता भाई आता बघितलं
Still have the opportunity to pivot today, should they choose to do so.
I think that might be a little bit of a remnant of DRX playing a lot of Jet on this.
विदाउट ड्युलिश लोक 7 राउंड कसे काढले
And expecting these fast
अटॅक
runs.
मध्ये पण
It's just not coming just yet. And obviously no Jet on this one.
The thing is, Sugetsu also hasn't gotten up super far, right? So they don't really understand what pressure is awaiting.
त्यांनी हे मस्त लावलं ना ट्रॅप दोन्ही कळलं चांगलाच ट्रॅप लावला
Not much utility. Angel's already used his prowler. The nice thing here, look at Artis's position. He's all the way up B. Can easily catch rotators or hit a nasty flank.
And what I like about it, how FPX are playing this, is they're hedging bets on both sides, right? Like they take some space B, pivot back to A. They could pivot back B if needed, or Artis can just hit the late.
He's all the way deep.
Oh,
Might
bhai.
have just spotted him though.
Oh, look at how far back he is, and they're going to rotate into him. He's got to get a kill here. If he falls, the rotation back towards B is in trouble. It's in peril. Artis
बरं तो जिगल मस्त करतो ना
you feel them start to swarm, and Artis falls. But the thing is, with 15 seconds left, they don't really have time to go anywhere else. They have to commit to be here.
At the wall, they can easily plant. Oh, the nade go through that wall.
Oh,
And
Sugetsu got to find another, and he does. Xiao gets to play it down to 4v3.
Sheesh.
4v1.
There's no segments left, and they're still taking the fights.
The late round call, the late pivot.
का
Everybody out of position dealing with
असेल
Artis
लाईनअप
right?
असेल
And Sugetsu in mid.
Boy, did that pay off. FPX win the second round pistol.
Round
Man, it's a juggernaut match, right? This is a heavy.
घाई केली लोकांनी ते मस्त रिटेक पण प्लांट पण थांबून दिला
This is the second pistol for FPX as
हे चुकलं
Sugetsu, man. Finds the perfect time to inch his way in there, separate the two, and even find Stacks falling off the boiler. It's a little death slam there from Stacks.
Not amused.
तो तसा चष्मा हवा है
Glasses look good though.
Kang styling as always.
5 stack towards B from DRX off of the knife, and there's everyone here. Zipan's gotten past
Oh,
him.
bhai.
Satchel's his way up. The Prowler's gonna spot one.
ओ भाई
mentioned it, all 5 players here, but they're working him right now. Zip on top, Artist down on bottom, and that nade is perfect to do damage to both him and Zip down below.
This has been so well played from FPX, man.
A far cry difference from that anti-eco in the first half.
Oh bhai.
And they felt out the stack. They got a couple kills of it. Did
पाऊस हो रहा है ये आवाज सुन करते पूरा हिमांशु हे मित्र हाँ आपल्या घराच्या खाली उभा आहे का
The soft sides of the map like this, DRX are in trouble. I think the fact that we've already seen FPX circumnavigate the defenses of DRX, I mean, it's only been 2 rounds.
Yeah, but it's only been 2 rounds, right? It's an eco trying to stack them off. Yes, though. I mean, on that pistol round, you're certainly right. It reminds me of the way that Optic ends up working the rotations against all sorts of teams, with DRX specifically.
So get to just on the other side. And the timing, it didn't look like it was going to work in his favor, but he does eventually swing out, get the last 2 with the Ghost, and get FPX to 7.
And he's very happy to hunt kills there. Not only does he want the ult orbs, but he's only got the Ghost, not worried about losing that to them at all. 7-7, we're all tied up. Heading into the main part of the second half. Huge bonus here from FPX. 4 rifles, excuse me. And DRX also a little bit of a weak purchase in terms of the armor at least. Same thing though on the FPX side. And note, the only Phantom in the server, actually 2 Phantoms, Buzz and Mako, so all that light armor.
बड़ा पीक बना कुड़े बगैर तो बुढ़ा
hurts a little bit.
There certainly has the potential to, for sure. FPX cheating towards A. You do have 2 members from DRX here. In Buzz and Stacks. And they're about to have their hands full, man. Oh, he spotted a shoulder. But is that enough to draw rotates? You see the nade, he's got to get away. Buzz looking for reswing.
Sheesh.
1-2. Now the Prowler down, the wall up. And somehow FPX have made their way through this site.
And no casualties for them either.
Yeah.
No picks.
Now in a
for
retake,
them too. So they have to stay up close to maybe force them to make a mistake here.
Sugetsu on the bottom of the mini-map there, checking the flank. He also has 2 mollies he can deal with for post-plant.
Cheeky position there from Artist. Easily spammable if they find it out. Ooh, what a molly.
So they give this face up, but no, forget the spam. It's Artist who's going to get the kill.
Guy, pick.
Yeah,
FPX.
Oh my gosh, he was just on the other side, but he's caught. He's patient, and he's rewarded. You mentioned it was a big bonus. They convert. They deliver.
The
potential to go up now to 9 rounds. The potential to really take control of this game after losing it early in that first half. Speaking of Xiao, I mean, DRX also not super. Obviously, it's very difficult to be diligent in those positions.
Yeah.
There's so many players of FPX up close. There's so many players fighting you at that moment. Super difficult. But Xiao just rips them apart because of it.
Oh.
Good spam too from Angel. Very aware Buzz lurking in the midst.
And he did he's down to 48 HP. Yeah, he's gonna get a heal up.
Zest did rotate after the haunt information in mid, so getting a little ahead of himself.
Nice shot.
Not kill my alliance.
They've got off though, so plenty of space still help. Not taking any risks here in this anti-eco. DRX, and there was plenty of these rounds won from both sides in their initial playoff bout.
Gonna try to rotate back towards B. Now the Prowler only made its way up from Zest to 410, so they don't really know if there's anyone further back. They still have to respect the possibility that it's an A hit. And it's not until they see something at B that they can pull off.
30 seconds left.
That seems to be enough. They hear the Satchels going through. They're going to start to dump utilities.
Buzz is in the smoke.
DRX have to pull back. And you're right, he's in the smoke. Oh gosh! Quick right click gets the kill!
He's stuck behind the wall. He gets up on the rope. Oh my goodness.
He still so aggressively
So he's
waiting
got to get
for
the spike.
challenge.
The molly missed, so the spike's going down.
Yeah, so gets manages to get it down. Artist still playing.
What? He just
but
gave a
RB
vandal.
Gets the kill. You're right. Sure. Oh, they don't pick it up. They're just gonna challenge. Maybe they've missed it either way. Zipan's got a 1v2, and it's much more manageable now that there's not a vandal on the other side. But it doesn't matter. Mako with the shots, RB with the defuse, and DRX with the clap back.
The loss of position early on this plant forced a massive overstep here from FPX. I mean, you could already see there was a buzz in the middle of that. The one player, Buzz, trying to get away on the rope. Artist going deep again. Everybody wanted to fight to maintain a little bit of that space and help the players who are going for that plant to get out of there, but whew. Still a huge bang for FPX. Not gonna really cut too deep, but that's not a round DRX should have won.
Not at all, and it keeps the map close.
Hey, I'm all for it. The closer the better.
I mean, it just continues this back and forth, right? Like this trading of blows that we've discussed.
So the ult to note here is Sugetsu's. He's got his pit, and FPX have been so far very good at getting on the site. So what does DRX have cooked up here? They're looking for a mid. There's so many pits that you could use here in mid.
Maybe
that
a
can
kitchen
cause
one.
Yeah, kitchen. There's the kitchen lurk.
Yep.
The one that goes all the way up top nest.
Top nest.
Oh, and you heard a lot of gunfire on the other side of that. Really no reason to conceal anymore as you hear him thunder footing up to into kitchen. Zest is on the other side, but he can't get in. The Prowler can't get in either.
The nest plant is so brutal to deal with, especially without mid control, and Zipan's holding on to it right now. And he even gets RB.
He's gotta find more.
Oh, that spam's getting mighty close!
Oh my gosh!
30 seconds left.
The spike wasn't down.
B.
And Sugetsu's the Viper now planning.
There's still plenty of time though. There's still plenty of numbers. Can the rest of DRX chip away at what they have set up?
No.
Oh my gosh! It's gotten down to 2!
But I have to ask, why again, Artist? You have the option of staying in the pit.
Punished for his mistake, and now it's a 2v2. Sugetsu's still keeping the pit up as the spike ticks away.
Save.
Yeah.
Can't get in. You know that road's being covered.
Oh my gosh, what a hold. And yes, blunders aplenty, but what a hold.
So, okay, they did use a combination. And the typical place to lurk. He'll get the kill. Zipan's going to potentially chase here. That's 2. They had to get out of there with the plant the way that it was. But to explain Artist, he normally would lurk out from on the stairs right there where you see on your screen. Because the pit's covering that area. So he's trying to get an advantage where they think they're watching. But it just completely does not work out.
I mean, the timing could not have been worse. That is truly unlucky.
And specifically because Buzz is there, right?
Yeah.
Anybody else might take their chances of walking into that pit. Buzz with the op, no way. But it's still a round win for FPX either way.
You want to play? Let's play.
But the gun's available. The side of DRX, we've seen this before, FPX. They put Zipan on top, they use that molly to clear out the boiler spot from Zest. And now Zipan, a big threat.
I mean, Artist just used the Roomba to get Artist so much space up.
And Artist is a very safe fight given the wall. They could always put that up. Has to chase them through 2 segments of it. And now they can cut noise. Wall's back up. They have to use some utility here by Zest to clear in. There's the Prowler. They're going to push in front of that wall right now. But even that's not giving you too much information.
No.
Could still be up in that kitchen segment. They could still be in the 2.
Off of that, you just saw Sax had to check it.
Zipan had to give it up, though.
Lineups to hai. Lineups to kidhar
There's 2 mollies there. He could have struck with the showstopper. But instead, they'll go for the standard here.
5-man death ball towards B.
30 seconds left.
Zipan has ult. He has no satchels to go with. Oh, and Mako spotted off of the on, and now the Prowler's there. He still has the Viper's Pit, but he's got a nade on his lap. Oh, but it's not going to hit him. This wall goes up, and he has to try to spam through it. There you hear the ult.
He's seized. Oh, the cancel.
Clearing the wall.
RB with his no command at the perfect time, and that showstopper's gone. Mako has his ult too. He can put it down at any point to start this retake off.
Patience right now from the Viper players. Buzz trying to clear out back yellow, trying to see what he can find with the op, and he's going to spot a couple of members, but the shot goes wide. Is there help? Yes! It is help in the way of RB. Sugetsu playing close. They put up a wall of their own, and it easily disintegrates. It melts right before them. A 3v2 here. Sugetsu and Xiao try to hold the line, and so far they've done it. Can Buzz 1v2? No!
Huge hold from Sugetsu and Xiao. And again, it's one of those positions where Xiao is just tucked, and he does such a good job at not only supporting his teammates. Right here, Xiao holds on against Zest, where Sugetsu gets the first. It's just ping-ponging back off of each other. That was a 2v4.
And those fights are so close, man. You can, it's nice edge. DRX call a timeout here. Still a 2-round game, still close, still well within reach.
But that's frustrating if you're Stacks. You're the rest of the DRX players too, because everything went well. They nullified the mid control.
They nullified the showstopper.
All the take ideas from FPX were canceled.
Yeah.
And then they got their pit up. All the win conditions were there. They just couldn't deal with the two. Sugetsu and Xiao, formidable duo. Two of the players with the most clutches in this tournament. And while that might not count for the stats, it's still a 2v4 that is super hard to win.
Yeah, guy, but if you're single, you gotta put your Instagram on there, put your Twitter. We'll help you out.
No, I've been actually doing him dirty though.
We're trying to help the guy.
Yeah, I guess so.
You mentioned the 2-round lead for FPX. It has the potential to balloon to 3 here as DRX. They have won the only Thrifty in this map, but they're gonna have to do it again if they want to keep it close.
And 11 is a dangerous number.
Yes, it is.
Fast again, the same wall. Zipan on top of Tube. RB. Oh.
He was much
going through.
He was much more aggressive this time around too. Zest with the Prowler in his face swings around. He's down to 6 HP, and Zipan, you see it. He was expecting the swing from Stacks. Mako's fallen. RB's still close by, but they're just getting ripped to shreds.
Those two picks right now that you see on your screen, the two blue X's of DRX's death. Super unconventional spots. Artist goes all the way up there. And that's a great mix-up.
Choosing to use the Nightfall to get into A.
Clears all the site.
Yeah. And Artist is the first to follow. But maybe Buzz, with the Tour de Force, can do something here. Using an ever-important ultimate. And well, that's certainly going to help. What the heck was that?
Only 3 bullets in his Headhunter.
Only 3 guys left on the other side. Angel, Xiao, and Zipan trying to hold this.
Might as well go for it here.
He slipped ahead, and he spotted 1. He's gotten it down to 2.
That wall's a problem, though. He has to play from this side as the chamber. Can't break it.
But there is no post plant. There's really nothing left, so he still has to take the fight, and Xiao's waiting on the other side. And Xiao cleans him up. He was holding the angle, and it was all too easy at that point.
3-round lead now for FPX. 2 rounds away from closing out the first map.
6 of the last 7 going in their way.
And the only round they lost was certainly
a winnable one.
A winnable one, but also their own fault. That's the one where, you know, Artist pushed over top of the wall to get in top of the nest on B. Other than that, DRX have not been in control. And that mix-up that FPX just called puts so many thoughts in the coaches and IGL's head right now. RB, can you escape? Good flash.
Very good flash. Remember, Zipan found a lot of value from this spot just a couple of rounds ago.
Really haven't gone for a full push-up kitchen yet. And also, they note that Buzz is playing here. Remember, they got the TP off immediately. So if they can take down Buzz. Sugetsu gets unlocked. RB's going to challenge, though. Good awareness. Just have the clock in your head to be able to wait. They're going to re-challenge him, actually. Trying to keep him down in here.
But there are two here. Oh my goodness. He's dangerous with it. He's bold with it. Artist goes down. Artist goes right back up. Oh, and there was a swing off of Buzz. Somehow Artist stays alive, though. And they've gotten the spike down. DRX was such an advantage, such a numbers advantage. My goodness, not again. DRX finds one, Zipan finds another. They're outnumbered and they don't seem to care, but DRX finally come to life.
Come alive.
All the kills swinging in their favor there. Artist trying to claw something back, but they're too quick. A great shutdown of the mid approach from Sugetsu there. They notice Artist is on that B site. He's the one leading the charge. Got a little chuckle out of me. He's the one leading the charge, so they're absolutely happy to take the fight to just the Viper. He can't get out of there. So there's a slow on the side of him. The Haunt's going in as well, and they're pushing him from both bottom tube in mid and top tube, and keeping somebody watching him backside of Boiler. Great trap setup. This is where you got to equalize here if you're DRX. Try to break the bank right now.
You have to.
And it's a big round to try to stop right now because FPX got this Viper's Pit again, remember. Success that you can find with it.
Zipan's just so bold, man, in the face of the Haunt. Position given away in the flash there. Somehow he survives.
Survives, but did not get the space. Ponytail from Shao.
They still are working their way forward. Mako has to hold things, and he's seen two members already. There it is on the second swing. Shao's able to claim it out, but Tess holding things back, at least temporarily. Artist is left in this 1v3. He's gotten into a 1v2. RB's weak. Buzz is healthy.
He's in front of the wall.
77,
He's stuck.
4 armor. He's gotten it down to 1, but he has no idea where Buzz is. Guessing every which way he can, and Buzz, third time's a charm. First 2 bullets go wide, but DRX get the round.
FPX up close.
Oh my gosh.
But it's a meat grinder as well. They got denied the first chance. And then they get really close. They get the wall up and they try to even go further. And they didn't do that the last time. They got stalled. Instead, they fell back. Instead, they even rotated all the way back to B. I'm even thinking back to the pistol round as well, where Artist was lurking deep.
A 1-round game. For how good FPX have looked in this second half, I'm kind of astounded that we find ourselves here. But a 1-round game nonetheless. Remember, this is FPX's map pick too.
And it was an equalizer too. Because now they have ults to respond to their own. They've got RB's KO, but more importantly, the buy on FPX's side is absolutely trash.
And if that does hold fast, if that does remain true, there's a good chance we're looking at 11 apiece here. But they have something, right? They've got Artist with the Vandal, they have a Stinger in Sugetsu, and in the hands of Shao. And I wonder if they play around Zipan. Yeah, he's gotten a Stinger too. 1 point away from the showstopper. Sugetsu has his pit.
They're going to go for it. And look, I kind of like this. Given the fact they're able to get up close on A almost every single time. Closing the distance and using those Stingers to burst past the time you think that they're getting stopped. Yes, Stacks is here. Yes, Mako's here. They can get both of those key utility factors to delay down. But if FPX just say, let's go anyways. I can find room for Artists to work absolute magic with that Vandal.
It may be overwhelming on the other side. Zipan's got to close the gap. There it is. Oh, but the Stinger, he only shot 1 bullet. Stacks was happy to greet him there.
He was so far ahead of his team.
It wasn't cohesive. It wasn't comprehensive either. They just kind of walked into it with a whimper.
So same thing that you faced last time if you're DRX. You know how you shut it down. Use use the wall to get in behind them and all fight at the same time from all sides of the site.
Note here, Zest and RB have key ultits.
Teleport's ready.
To work with. And once again, they're just waiting for whatever the Q is. Mako's already spotted one. And Sax actually gets the first kill into Shout. Yeah, the Stingers are just not doing what they were intended to do whatsoever. The Prime Gaming Flawless to bring us to 11 apiece. And they hold those 2 ults that we were talking about.
Just feels like the Stingers, the later we get in this tournament, those buys are just not working out as well.
And they were causing fits at the beginning, but you're right.
It's all tied up, and the DRX fans back in the building. And it's still not even that good. Actually, that buy is forcing a lot of weaker buys here out of FPX, so a little bit of an over-investment right now, and they have to fight. The better buy here from DRX.
Again, an aggressive spot from Sepan as he's gotten down low, and I don't think they know that
he's so
swung
far
around
ahead
the
again.
corner. Oh, but RB saves the day!
Again, he's by himself, completely untradeable. And his teammates didn't even get extra space. They don't even know. Oh, Buzz.
20 HP wave.
It did hit.
I thought it hit harder.
Angel 5 and 18. He was crazy good in the game against Xset. He was the guy. Instead of Sugetsu and Shout, was him and one of those two.
He was electric. Buzz not able to hit the elbow on that shot.
The slow keeps them in no man's land.
Gotta back that thing up. Still holding back yellow. Artist on the other side.
RB still has this, no command, just use them. They can't even execute. 40 seconds left. This delays them for so long, honestly. At this point, what do you do, the team?
Yeah, do you pivot? Do you stay?
30 seconds left.
You don't have very much time. You don't have very many options either.
It's the last pulse. 20 seconds to execute at the site. Plant down. We saw nothing there.
Good night. That was a white swing though, bro. Now they know you see the nightfall. Both ultimates used. Shao has fallen. RB trying to keep them back even further as Artist creeps his way up. And with 9 seconds left, they still haven't gotten this fight down. Now Sugetsu trying to do it, and the Haunt's going to find some value. I don't know that it was enough. Oh, the second kill! There's no time! And I think I just heard Achilles. Woo! From the desk.
No time. And no hope. What a good ult.
Both of them, right? The initial delay off of the no command.
That nightfall literally decayed for RB to get that spam. Everybody was healthy on the side of FPX. We didn't have an engagement yet. They just got ulted. The only person went down was Zip on there. They're going to go for it again. This time, there's no key tools from DRX.
You see the financial implications of how FPX have approached the last few rounds. A Sheriff, a Guardian, a Bulldog, 2 Bulldogs to keep the map alive.
And when the wind conditions is your pit, you don't want a Guardian or a Sheriff. Bulldogs are okay. They just took a little bit of space here towards B, used a little bit of utility, and then fell back. But look at DRX. They're even closer than they've ever been on that lane. So they know what's up. Zippon has to go huge here.
Absolutely. He's been so good.
25 and 17. He's been the guy to get these spaces done, and he's in the smoke. He disappeared. No.
There's no value found with the ult, but he's taking the space. How much more can he find? There it is. There's a good one.
Gotta find the Viper though. He's still inside.
It has to go down. Mako up top. It's a barrel right into his ear. But Zipan's still alive.
They still have the pit.
Maybe not healthy, but he's still trying to make a play on the round. You see the pit go off, and it goes right back down. That's DRX take Icebox.
The first matchup between these two teams went the absolute distance in the first map. But this one a little less draining than that first one. What was it, 6 overtimes?
Yeah.
We're going to Haven next. That's DRX's pick. FPX saw what happened to them against Fnatic and thought they could do the same, but no, not even close.
Oh my goodness. What a map.
even forgot about that.
That just feels so long ago.
Gotta find the Viper though. He's so many players.
मॉडल भाई क्या खेल रहे हो? ऑल रन सेज फाड़ दी मेरी भाई। इधर है
टार
प्लांट ताऊ।
You want to play? Let's play.
Chamber -80.
One enemy remaining.
लेफ्ट में
लेफ्ट में कितना -80.
देख रहा हूँ मैं, देख रहा हूँ।
Switching sides.
Oh bye. मैं भी खेलता वाइपर के साथ। ठीक है, ब्रीच और तू उधर जा। मतलब वो ऊपर देखो, आपको दिख रहा है 7-5, मतलब हम लोग का स्कोर 7।
म्यूट करके वाइट थे आपण, म्यूट करके। Benkai.
First, DRX and DRX closing out. I know someone at this table might be more than just a little excited about that turnout.
Yeah, Benkai, you hyped up, man.
Yeah, obviously, man. Yeah, Asia represent. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I mean, you can really see how these two teams had such good game plans going into the game, and how DRX, even though like it kind of pains me to see that they had no flanks the entire game, but they had such a strong. They had such strong faith in their retake protocols that whatever FPX did, they just seemed to be so comfortable with just going together as a team and just retaking everything with the good utility usage and just pushing them back.
I really like your point around the flanks, because I think that was one of the big failures of them when they were playing on that Killjoy comp. They weren't really setting up those traps, setting up those flanks that are successful with that. They make a change, come out with a new composition here, and are quite successful, Seth.
Yeah, it was great to see here from DRX. A couple of sweaty moments there for me, you know, with FPX running it back, but I'm just glad that this was close. But much improved from DRX given what they showed versus Fnatic. The swaps, having Buzz go back over to the chamber here on this map, clearly working out for them in a good way. But FPX, it's not over yet for them.
Yeah, and what really surprised me was how well DRX adjusted to FPX's mid presence, because on the attacking side, DRX had virtually no mid presence, and just to see them adjust to how FPX was playing their game plan really surprised me.
Yeah, and this is one such example. Sugetsu gets shut down in mid, and DRX just played a really good retake. I was impressed with how they were playing in these retakes in the second half, especially with their composition considered there. FPX tends to be a team that's one of the best when they get in that post plant, particularly when they are playing on this raised composition. So I think DRX again is proving that under pressure, they can adapt. They've already broken through their curse, and they're really dedicated to going further in this event.
Yeah. Well, I mean, while I don't expect that we're going to be seeing the head-to-head the same exact way with the Chamber v Chamber moving into Haven, unless DRX decides to alter the composition again. I mean, two players that we need to look at are, of course, going to be Artis and Buzz, both of them having pretty similar performances overall, but Buzz eking it out just a little bit more, slightly fewer deaths for him, but I mean, Artis is the guy that FPX needs to be able to rely on. Zipan had a wonderful game here himself, but Artis whiffing a couple shots that normally we know he is damn good for, but it's not looking form that we've seen from him the past year.
चल भाई चालू करो भाई सेकंड मैप शीज क्यूडी से स्काउट
Strong performance, even in the loss on map number 1. I think this role on Raze continues to just be an incredible, comfortable one for him. This moment was absolutely absurd. This guy is just a fantastic individual, pretty much no matter the role.
I think that was the moment that I started feeling like I was going to get boomed. Just completely and utterly mentally broken. Zipan, I think he's had a little bit of a rougher go in some of the last series, but he was a monster in the overtime rounds versus Exit in the last series. Now he kicks things off with his Raze and he's looking explosive. So if Zipan's going to continue to perform like this, and if Artis can find his stride, then I'm definitely going to become quite concerned for DRX's future in the series.
Yeah, you kind of always see the focus turn towards like Sugetsu, Shao, and Artis, the trio of them, but Zipan is really showing up this time, and he's just like showing the crowd, you know, I'm here. FPX is not just like a three-man show.
Yeah. Well, before we head into map 2, let's head into the Aim Lab shoot-around for a little pre-game warm-up with RB. We're going to be following him around.
Yeah, I mean, RB is a guy who's had a lot of pressure placed on him. And I think he really came out and impressed with their previous game to break that curse, get to this point in the tournament. But now as we start to look ahead towards this Haven match, it's going to be another one where I think RB gets to play into his comfort. In the past, they've been switching him over onto the Killjoy.
Should we watch
Tarika Twitch?
Let's go.
He's been a guy who can step up and kind of avoid that pressure.
Yeah, I mean, just look at him go. The man he's just RB is one of those players that, like, when he gets like really zoned in on something.
I love all the workarounds.
Hello. What the fuck? DRX.
That we see the old RB that everyone just didn't believe in the playoffs.
Yeah, his highs are high and his lows are lows. But thus far in the playoffs, I think this has been one of those tournaments where we've been seeing the highs, the good moments of RB, at least largely.
Yep, absolutely. Well,
you know, get Icebox under the belt. FPX's map pick, especially considering the loss to Fnatic just a couple days ago. I am feeling relatively okay, but their Haven didn't really show much. It didn't leave much to be inspired about when they did bring it out versus Loud, but we'll have to see what they've done to adjust.
Yeah, I mean,
Benkai, what do you think it's going to take for them to turn this around on DRX and do what was done to them on their own map pick?
I believe that they really should just change things up completely in a way that Doom Bros, there's no way that Doom Bros can anticipate what they're going to bring out.
Yeah. But I think the same is true to an extent for the side of FPX, right? They haven't had to play this this map since the playoffs of Copenhagen, since the grand finals of that event. So they've had plenty of time to go back in, make a new change. But I don't actually know if I expect them to make a pivot. They were playing the Fade Raze comp with the Sage, something that gained a lot more prevalence during the regional LCQs. They were kind of the ones to innovate on that map. But they've shown a lot of different looks in the past. So I think for both these teams, actually, it's going to be a tougher one to prep for. But FPX do definitely come in as the bigger question mark.
Yeah, I'm curious to see if they're going to stray away from the Killjoy here. It's, you know, we've seen that in and out from time to time.
Mini a single.
I think it was Yinsu holding the sign as well. But I'm curious to see if they stick with that or maybe have even RB flex over to the chamber, which we have seen from him from time to time when they play on Breeze. You could absolutely have that work and then keep Buzz on the Jet where he's able to have explosive performances. Otherwise, another big adjustment that you could do would be have Buzz yet again run chamber on this map and then have RB go for Raze, because he in his own right is an incredible Raze player.
Yeah, what do you think, Benkai? Is there a comp that you lean heavily towards on this map?
I'm always like a big fan of how they run their Breach and Killjoy together in terms of how they get into the bomb site and always execute it. But it's going to boil down to if FPX is going to allow them to have that kind of control to execute into those bomb sites. But I believe that DRX, they have to have one of the agents that can just dive into the bomb site, because I think they're so good at combining utility in a way that their duelists can just create so much space when they go into the bomb site.
Yeah, last time it was Buzz on the Jet, and we've seen even in the history of this matchup how good that can be for DRX to have. When they beat FPX on Ascent, it was Buzz on that agent to pound.
All right, let's jump into our Prime Gaming agent select and see if some of these Jesk predictions are actually going to come true or not. Who's going to be playing what here on map 2?
All right.
Whoa.
Okay, we're getting weird. Viper on Haven. This is not a commonality at all.
Tell us why.
Because bad?
I don't know if because bad. I've had faith in previous Viper comps. There was a early 2022 where there was like a trend, particularly in NA, with teams starting to pick up this Viper. I've always liked the ideas, but I feel like people have struggled to find that good implementation. The other big question mark is Chow away from the Fade. They don't want that Fade-Raze combo. Instead, he's the solo initiator in this composition. Haven's meta has been defined by these multi-initiator comps in recent time.
Benkai, if you see this, and this is a pick that you really don't expect to happen, what are you thinking? Are you thinking they must have a plan to use this to its full potential?
I wouldn't be too surprised because I've really practiced against a Viper on Haven in my region, so I kind of know that I'm pretty sure you'll see any of the rounds, you're gonna see a Viper wall that extends out from C-Long all the way into that bomb site. Yeah, just like that straight line wall as a default.
How would you rate Viper on Haven out of 10?
If FPX is doing it, maybe a 6.
That's still not great.
Yeah.
That's if they're playing this well.
Yeah. Not great. And what are we looking at here on the side of DRX? How is this comp looking to you, Benkai?
It's pretty much their bread and butter, right? It's what you saw the last time they played Haven, and it is what they're comfortable with, and they have found so much success with the way they play this. Then I'm not really surprised that they're not changing it up. But I have confidence in how they get into the bomb sites.
Yeah, this is a comp that really puts the pressure on Buzz to perform. It also enables him so well to perform. You have the Omen Paranoias. You also have that Breach in action. This is where this guy absolutely thrives.
All right, we're all set for map 2. Let's find out if this one can go the distance and send it to map 3. Let's send it back to Doug and Bala.
Thank you, Chrissy. I think I echo the sentiments of everyone at home, everyone in the venue, when I say good night. I really hope we go to map 3, but a Viper on Haven doesn't instill a ton of confidence.
Yeah, it's funny because they're risking their entire tournament life, their champions life, their year to end because they go for an off-meta pick, and I'm surprised they didn't mention that to Benkai because he's well known for doing that in Copenhagen. So FPX picking a Viper here is super, super interesting. They're starting on defense. And I'm wondering, obviously, they have confidence in this Angel going for something out of left field once again. It's going to be hard. I mean, DRX's attack side is so crazy good in terms of getting space with their jet, their executes, finding so much value, and so many different looks as well. No matter what site you're going to, Buzz is going in a different direction, finding a different path. And it all comes down to this for FPX.
Remember, tournament champions just a little bit ago, now putting everything on the line with a Viper on Haven. Heavy the crown, but steady the vision as they turn their attention over towards Haven. One map to potentially send them home or to send us to Fracture.
And DRX is starting off with what Benkai said, the bread and butter. Buzz going to lead the charge, and they're hitting the C site.
There are a couple of members here. See the fault line through. Buzz has already gotten up, though. Angel on the trade.
Ooh.
He manages to get a second. But he's been overwhelmed. He's been outnumbered. Sax is going to get the spike down. All he has is a little bit of utility left. Mako throwing the shoulder arts on the other side of the swing. Timing is great.
He still got one, though.
And the spam is fire, too. But you're right. He did manage to get one.
It's planted for Mako here down long. They have no smokes to cover him.
Yeah, well, I mean, he doesn't have anything.
He's
just got one smoke up.
This is actually very doable here for Mako.
Didn't manage to get it to half. Mako repositioning, creeping his way forward.
I heard that.
Taking any inch that he could possibly get. A shout. Zipan try to keep them back. Zipan got it to half. Zipan gets the kill, and he's gonna get FPX first round.
And that plan also not even close to where that one way was going down, so that didn't provide any value.
Yeah, it felt really far out.
Yeah. That's DRX Classic, actually.
Hold up, hold laga. Pahila round jeeta
plant spot.
FPX jeeta ek pahila round.
Well, we have the DRX stat on the line as well. You do have to note FPX. The only time they played this internationally with their starting 5 was against Paper X in the grand finals. And they lost that one. They were relying on it a lot at Copenhagen during groups when they had their sub, Cider. So pulling it out at the last moment here, knowing DRX is going to pick it into you.
Artist holding mid with Marshall, no armor on the side of DRX whatsoever. The swing is just clean. Manages to get away too.
Difficult to actually get this plant down, given the decay that's going through, but no utility spent to deny.
Dude, Artist is so bold to continue to challenge. But look at DRX, they fully send in!
Artist, what?
But Artist has gotten 3 and now he's close by. Artist with 4 on the round!
He picked up the frenzy too and just made quick work with the rest of them, just jumped in behind them. What a play from DRX. Taking surprise to the next level.
But no one surprises Artist. Still has that Marshall. And for him, he was re-challenging him, but they never look at him. And when they finally do, it's too late.
There's too many people on that side. The swap is clean too. Did actually end up swapping off that Marshall. And no, the Viper pit or the Viper wall that they're using is to control this A side, short and sewers, but also B.
Yeah.
And there's no fade to use the C's to combine with the nade, but it's still getting put down by Zipon to control this A lobby. And they've got full of it.
And it puts Artist in such an aggressive spot into short. He can challenge that so easily.
Meanwhile, you could also see the orb that Sugetsu's putting down is top C on that garage. It's a one-way for them. And Angel to just rip off the split. DRX love to go for these C splits.
And Zipon seems to be wise to it. You see him playing just outside of garage. First gun round for DRX. They still have a lot of tools at their disposal.
50 seconds in and Angel has not put a new smoke down. Used the first one at A lobby. And since then he hasn't used them, so they're going to be there for this hit, but Sugetsu's just rotated off.
Yeah, and you can tell Angel was thinking about it too. Prowler into garage, the cloud burst, that should draw the rotation back. There's that one way that you were just mentioning, and Buzz just fully goes into it, challenges what's on the other side, but RB just rips him to shreds.
Shao's going for it even more.
RB on the spam, he's gotten 3 on the round, but Shao's gonna have to do it by himself. A 1v3, and no, DRX find their first.
That's a really good job of DRX, actually. Not necessarily themselves being proactive at pulling the rotations, but being able to pull the rotations based on the information you're giving FPX there. Eventually they find a timing where Sugetsu's not close. Yes, there's a molly landing at their feet. But the drone that came out of Shao from the A-Link outside of B only spotted 1. And that called the rotation over because he was working his way up B. And usually when you see a lurker coming up towards B, you're expecting an A.
Turret up here as they try to control mid. So you get to wait and see if anyone's going to peek forward. Anyone dare challenge that area of the map. Note here, RB has his ultimate. And that is exactly where they're going to head back to.
Let's go DRX.
Such good ideas with their Killjoy ults. And remember, no breach in this comp, so it can't be broken easily.
Oh my, oh my.
This Artist is so far up. 2 shots already through, space given away, but Buzz creeps forward. It's actually Sugetsu who's able to hold the line for now. You see the fault line go right beside him as Sugetsu gets a second. Sacks in a 1v3, and there's nothing doing there.
That's the type of round you want if you're FPX with this Viper. Just easily picking them apart. Saw how Artist and Angel in the last round have so much staying power in the back of sight there. Just because you're playing a Viper. And just because you have that auxiliary one-way that's going up. And yeah, I think you gotta call an early timeout here. You didn't really get a chance outside of the freeze time at the beginning of the game to discuss what's possible. Now you see it. Now you see how Sugetsu's using his utility. So the first chance for Glow to really come up with a on-the-fly game plan. You need to call an on-the-fly game plan here.
It's been an area of comfort for the Korean representatives before. We'll see if they can do it again. They find themselves down 2 this composition that is, again, very uncommon, very unconventional, very unheard of.
Yo, you're interrupting his vlog. Couple fans trying to get behind the DRX squad, behind the Koreans.
What is the response? Remember, they still have RB's ultimate.
Sorry.
They've got Mako's too, but the buy's not going to be great.
It's a really difficult time, actually, now that we see the ults back online as well, to come up with a game plan and at the same time be thinking about how to counter the pit that Sugetsu has up. He's running all the way towards A. And there's more than just that. Zipan has his ult, Angel has his ult too. Last time on the eco, DRX went straight into B, and looks like they want to do the exact same thing.
And they're going to walk in for free too. They're also going to challenge Link. You see the paranoia out. Buzz has to give some of the space back. Mako gets the spike down.
That paranoia just basically cancels the one-way attempt.
Oh, I bulldog.
Thrown on the left side there in the cubby.
Wild post-plant positions. See DRX expecting the aggression, expecting the flank in through garage. Has to spam through, and yeah, using the stairs to drop utility. Showstopper, Zipan up top, he gets zest! Now the spam's starting to come through. Shao gonna try to hold it, Angel taking damage. But Shao's just gonna hold it the entire way. There's no challenge! There's nobody that's able to get him off! And Angel pushes forward! Gets a couple of kills! How are there two people at the end of that?
I know FPX won the round, but I'm losing my mind trying to understand what just happened at the end there. Did Mako get a 3K with one shot? Look at this. Oh, it was Angel first. Obviously missing the follow-up spray and then the double. Wow. That's pretty impactful. Hey, look at FPX's money. It's not that good. Sugetsu with just the Phantom. And don't forget, they got the pit out that time. So, huge switch in ultimate power now. To DRX's side, they got the breach ult.
Hey, they have four. They have 4 ults.
Very much known to use that breach ult over towards A. But I wonder if they're hesitant to approach that side because of the Viper wall. They really haven't.
They haven't tested those waters at all, you're right. You know, maybe even that just being up is enough to dissuade them.
Well, they're not going to ignore the entire game. Molly to clear out RB. It's a little trap here. His Phantom's definitely going to stick out. Has to turn it to the left.
There's nowhere to go.
He's alive.
Good enough. But 20 HP.
Hey, I'd be rather 20 HP than dead.
Yeah.
And they didn't get any information about that either. I think they must have some inkling because of how aware, and I mean, they've got 3 players basically watching it. Artist, meanwhile, got the op and is just looking down C-Long, has his garage control as well with the trademark. So they're set up for it. Here's the breach ult. FPX, there's nobody actually getting hit by this except for Shao up heaven. The fast retake is on.
You see double paranoias, as you're right, they swing right through, but Buzz has gotten behind enemy lines first. Zipan on their trade. No, not able to do anything. Shao drops to his death as he tries to challenge from heaven. And now Artis with an op in a 1v4. He's got to save that thing.
Oh, and he hears it.
The hunt,
RB.
yeah, the hunt is on. RB, who ate the molly at the beginning of the round, is
Yeah, but that's information now. He's definitely saving. Look, Stacks immediately chasing. Mako.
Teleport's ready.
Not going to continue, actually. They're not going to continue to pursue.
Yeah, how bold do they get in this? They have some time still.
Either way. That was one. FPX was very prepared for that round. And DRX still brute forces their way through. The Rolling Thunder clears the site. And they follow up with pounds of might. Every single player ready to fight that. That paranoia from Angel did not find value. The dart as well from Shao, which was trying to combo them together. You see, missed Buzz. The dart's up at that time, but nobody's getting tagged. It's broken at this point. And Shao is just way too late because he was the guy who got breach ulted. So happy to eat it, but he's expecting his teammates to find value, and that's why he's committed to that dive. Meanwhile, still, I mean, they didn't really spend that much either. RB still has his Killjoy ult. And here's the first time they're challenging this A control.
The nade, the dart. They're able to clear some of it out.
The early presence that FPX has been getting inside of A lobby now negated.
DRX, you're right, pushing into this. Artist with the op.
They're rotating.
And he's starting to pull back into A. I mean, they have 4 here.
It's for the most part, it's an eco. Just Artist with the op, so setting up for this, and don't forget, they don't have that massive coverage of the ult this time.
You're right, but Chao's here too, and he's got a Spectre. He's got something. Oh, and Artist does too!
Right before the flash.
What a shot. The second a warning, the paranoia. But they're committing it as Mako is ulted. The wall. The only thing keeping him back, and Mako gets the kill! How have they gotten this? You mentioned that it was just an eco. But that seems to work out for FPX just fine.
I mean, Mako TP'd right next to Artist, and Artist didn't even look. And they still win the round. Potentially going to be the real big problem. Yeah, Mako's right behind him.
Literally behind him.
I mean, I've heard Finesse talk about how difficult it is to hear these Omen ults. But that just brings it to another level. Wow.
Perhaps assumed he was in heaven or something.
Well,
yeah.
Also, Angel just ulted right before. So maybe that's a little confusing. A combination here with the Hunter's Fury. Off rip. Tried to paranoia from B, but look at Angel.
Mako's in trouble. Mako's in trouble. Mako's been spotted. The heavy aggression in A pays off for FPX as they're not done yet. Angel swinging around. The blades don't land, but Zest's bullets do.
Xiao's still here too.
A 4v2 is Buzz and Zest remain.
And Sugetsu's got his orb up. Look at this. It is brutal.
There's that one way that you were mentioning. Sugetsu holds the line around his utility.
Brutal. Just brutal from FPX. That was a really nice play. Not only do they have the setup with the Hunter's Fury at the beginning of the round, which is happening right before this, that gives them the space in A main, but on top of it, look at Angel. He's literally down in mid right now. And if they weren't diligent with the Fade utility there, he's getting 2 more easily. And it's an early second timeout used from DRX, their last of the game, and we're only round 9. Only round 9.
Perhaps a Hail Mary being called here, something. But for them to be using this timeout this early in the map.
And it's only 4 rounds down. I think the big thing is obviously still trying to figure out exactly how to play against this complete audible thrown out by FPX on this map. This Viper pick, we haven't seen direct value too much except for maybe that last round. But it's causing a lot of problems indirectly on other sides of the map with the utility that Sugetsu's providing his teammates and how DRX have mentally approached this. Shifted, I mean, a lot of that. Remember, that prior round before this was the first time they really took a lobby control at the beginning of the round. And then they get punished for trying to do it again. Mako getting caught completely alone in that last round.
Buy for DRX, not great. They do have some key ultimates to work with. But Buzz doesn't have blade. I mean, they really have very little here.
Stacks back up, but they're going to force a retake here immediately.
Buzz pushing his way forward. This feels a bit reckless, and while that's really the only decision DRX have here, look at that. He's waiting on the other side. Frenzy finds value. First kill going in favor of DRX.
I mean, talk about reckless. It's Angel, of course, the king of recklessness.
Swinging around, and RB finds another one with the Bucky that was picked up off of Angel. How much more can he find? He's still dancing around. But Xiao and Artis clean him up. There's still a shot at this, but they're so far up.
They don't know there's too many close.
Oh, and Zest is the only one further down. They don't know that Buzz is here. Oh, the shots don't land. Buzz is not able to get any of it. That could have been bad.
But it should have been a round 2 for them. Remember, they won a light buy already. And they get it close again. This time it's because the gamble in the direction that they're going at the beginning of the round works out. It's only Sugetsu. But there was so much that worked well. The Bucky RB had, up close and personal. And then the wraparound from Buzz, good too. Ooh.
That was clean up from Shao. Again, another setup to challenge A.
Look at this wall, it's different.
Wall. Yep.
All the way down mid, and that's a huge threat. Given that the Killjoy turret that RB's been placing always is looking for that mid walk down. Now they have to body check it. And they didn't even realize until now.
But they're going to challenge it.
Here.
No clue what's on the other side of this right now. Finally, the Prowler clears it, so it's all safe.
At least a little bit of it.
At this point, though, it doesn't really give FPX any more value.
Zipman has ult here. You got to be careful. They're all in there. The paranoia. There's the ult. RB's done. Rolling Thunder through.
Almost
dodged. Was he able to get past it? No. Sugetsu tucked, safe. He's so patient. Waiting, baiting his team and anticipating the flank out. And Sugetsu gets 4.
It is getting overwhelming.
मैच देख रहा है?
These rounds
Wait देख. Round देगा ये. ये वाला round हो गया.
And that's a huge down.
ये round देख.
Thunder through.
Almost
dodged. Was he able to get past it? No. Sugetsu.
एक गया, दो गया, छोड़ दिया, तीन गया, छोड़ दिया, दो, तीन, चार. चूतिया हो रहा है. बोल रहा था ना डबल पे. मेरे को मालूम था FPX जीतेगा. थर्ड में भी लगा FPX जीतेगा देख. Momentum आ गया था क्या?
Once again gonna push into A.
Look at Sugetsu. He's going all the way down his pit right now. If there's anything committed here to this A hit, he's flanking fast.
Buzz is tucked up in a tiny corner. Remember, RB still has that ult, by the way. Had it for a few rounds now. They're going to use a drone for him to swing, but they don't know someone's on the other side. He's got to be patient. He's got to be careful. A judge waiting, but it's too far away.
He gets out too.
They had the trap set up.
And look at the hesitancy from DRX to walk past this wall in short. There's just too much threat on the other side of it. Finally it falls, but at this point, starting to rotate back. RB has no space to actually use his ult in a significant manner there. And because they got the pick, perfectly comfortable to sit back now.
There's just so much control. Even if you take a Rod, you're going to have to clear him out somehow.
Don't forget, Zipan has his nade here too to deny the plant. With 30 seconds left, it's dangerous.
30 seconds left.
Backs up, gives the space. There's a nade that you're just mentioning. The satchel too.
RB's off of it.
To be sure. RB's managed to get one with the judge, and he is going to get the spike down. What a shot out from Zipan Food. He's been outrageous. Seth's down is so weak. Finally, we see that ult used. And Sugetsu has abandoned the pit. He's starting to challenge over on site. RB has fallen. Zipan has gotten another. Saxon's Zest so weak. Saxon, he's gonna have so much before him. Oh, and it's a quick shot out from Artis. A sleight of hand goes his way. We had a lot of questions around the Viper pick into Haven, and well, it seems to be working.
And it's funny too because I was with Benkai on the desk. The first thing I was thinking about was how you're approaching the attack side. And there's clear value to it on that half. 9-2 already. And this is looking very far gone for DRX so far. And again, let me remind you, even if they start a little comeback in the second half, they have no timeouts that entire time.
They're flying blind. Early paranoia. And again, a fight for a main. Angel's going to take long, and he's going to continue to push alongside Zipan. While DRX really not interested in that right now. They have the alarm bot to cover and make sure there's no flank coming around. They can focus more so on C here.
Smoke just put down on B might deter them a little bit more. But there is a lot of presence here for FPX over towards A.
They might rotate back.
Plenty of opportunities still to decide what to do. 1 minute left. But the thing for FPX is they're committing so many bodies on this side. The flank will have to come fast if they commit anywhere else other than A.
Don't think that, yeah, it's probably not going to be that one way once again, man. The one way is so good.
And the slow shuts it down. Nobody's following up with that. Oh!
Okay.
Maka with 2 huge entries.
He's weak. He's going to ult. He's going back sight. They have full sight control.
But look at the flank.
Spike planted.
I think RB's utility just went down, so I'm not sure they're really aware of this. It's triple flanking right now going on.
The drone to clear out garage. You see the smoke instantly as a response, while the rest of them are going to try to make their way down long. But there's utility there. Zipan's already gotten one.
Huge drone too.
How much more can he find? Smoke's concealing the positions of the remaining DRX players. This FPX has to go forward. The tap, the swing, Zest holds it. But Xiao, can he do it himself? A 1v2 utility in his face, but he manages to dodge it. The halt was there too to give him away.
9-3 car.
What a spray through the box there from Zest and Stacks too, just committing to it. And a solid idea from FPX, but it just does not work out. DRX, it's 9-3.
9-3, the one way was good, the comp is good, FPX looks good. Let's throw it down to the desk.
I mean, this guy...
चालू हो गया
3 into the lap of Artis. He's only able to get one as he's blindsided by Buzz.
And already you see the autonomy that Buzz needs on this side that the desk was mentioning, and Mako as well, cleaning up this A lobby control that FPX started with.
I'm liking that aggression out from DRX already. Mako's gonna get spammed through, counting his lucky stars that he stays alive.
And he goes for even more. That was risky, but doesn't get punished. The advantage now for DRX, and already the biggest tool in the kit for FPX with this comp, that Viper. At least the uncommonality of it.
Sure.
Certainly gone at this point. So the pivot is in for Angel. He's already used one of his smokes to smoke off that alarm bot. But that means no smokes available here. And he's bought a Sheriff too, so that's not coming up for another 40 seconds.
Xiao choosing to hold onto the drone and them just contact in.
Zip on top. Evens it out. Equality immediately. And the spike planted too. This guy has been so good. They're going for a setup to bait. All three players up close though.
Xiao and Angel close by. Angel looking around. Xiao may be first contact here. As the leader for FPX has to check every single angle his way. And he lands the first right in between the eyes. Looking for the second, dancing around the utility. Oh! It's actually Xiao who's in trouble. But Xiao gets it down to 1v1. It doesn't land. Stacks, you're right. A bit ahead of the play.
And not to state the obvious, but that was unbelievably necessary here for DRX. And it was so close. That aftershock was huge. All three players, remember, they were playing tight. All of them close. Zip on top of that box. Can't do anything there. Has to get off, and that's why Stacks easily takes him down. Back to that same wall. This one, I mean, this is flashback to 2021 Reykjavik.
Remember the disrespect that DRX showed this wall in the previous round. Fully sending 3. This time, a bit more tempered, a bit more metered.
I mean, remember, Artis was there. That could have been easily 2 kills for Artis. You don't want to be taking that risk every single time. Keep him on your toes.
You see the man on your screen right now, the only one with a weapon, trying to keep DRX on their toes, the stinger in his hand.
Angel with the sheriff again. And he's gone. Angel's gone.
Yeah.
And I like how Artis, you know, goes for the knife on the prowler. But they do get all the way up here, and you actually have Zest rotating off, so Buzz alone with just the Bulldog. The nice thing about it, he's avoiding and completely ignoring the wall.
Nice shots out from Zest. Oh man, he wanted more. He got a little greedy, he got a little hungry, but they're still finding space. Sugetsu still has that stinger.
Get that Bulldog too, it might be on top of the box. Yeah, Xiao not able to recover it, so it's just Sugetsu.
Just a bit far, and remember, he's weak. He's got to get into an aggressive position to really maximize the value of that weapon.
And he has to bait for the player in the corner, Sugetsu. I like that they're going heaven. Maximize the range here.
Sugetsu
wait, that missed?
Up.
It missed?
On the drop, he's still concealed behind
He's in the cubby.
wall. The spam is there, but he still holds his nerve. He's patient, but there was way too much. He had chances, but he took none of them.
And look, the fact that the 3 players of DRX there in that retake are so aware of that little cubby that's being put in there with the Viper wall is a really good sign. The little halftime discussion that they had about what exactly could come out from FPX with it already finding dividends. That's not what they were able to do on that first half. Took them a long time to adapt.
Well, the thing is, even if you manage to fall for that one, surely there's no way you fall for it again. The fact that they've seen it, no value is found from it is massive. See an exchange of utility, and again, DRX continue to challenge this wall in A. Look at how far up Buzz is. Look at how far up Mako is. He's already cleared it. And a Prowler through.
Nobody here on this site. They've got a 180 turret to spot when they do hit the C side, but it's going to be way too late at that point. So they have to do a 5v5 retake on their bonus, where they're already disadvantaged. Also, note that trip by Artis, it's very, very off. And Angel could potentially swing with it if he's there in time, and I think he might just be. He just put down a smoke back on Garage, and no, he's not working his way back, so early warning system's not going to do that much.
Well, actually, Angel's back. He paranoias. He's just going to get away. Tuck tail. Try to stay alive. He sees the other paranoias swing right by him. Artis now has arrived. Reinforcements found. So much reinforcements. Artis falls. Can Angel do anything here? Nothing. You mentioned the concerns around the bonus, and every single shot seems to be going wide for FPX. Zip in a 1v4, he swings around. Oh, but he only gets one.
If he takes down Zest there, that's a 1 round.
1000%.
And he was so close. Look at the HP. Zest has 30 HP. Zipan was so close. And they do convert the bonus. This was a problem for them. Before we took our little break, when they played their game against Fnatic, it's converting these bonuses. All right.
Oh boy.
We got the new spray in the game, and it's featured here in the crowd. 9-3 curse, is it real?
Might be a bit too early to say, but DRX sure are making believers out of a lot of people.
They forced FPX to call their first timeout, and I made a big deal about the fact they didn't have a timeouts of their own, and it's really important that they're doing this, forcing these ones out from FPX, because it gives a chance for Glow to instill a sense of game plan on this side. I think the nice part about switching the defense here for DRX is those game plans are a lot more fluid. It doesn't necessarily matter what FPX is throwing at you on attack. You're adapting to every individual hit.
Sure.
And not an entire multiply, like all sites are getting affected by Sugetsu.
Right. Certainly allows you to dial in a bit more to what you're seeing. Again, you heard during that timeout, the DRX fans are rolling deep, they're loud, but there's still so much work to go.
And FPX investing a decent amount here. Everybody with light armor. And remember what that costed them on Icebox. They got into a really weird situation when it came down to the gun rounds. So they have to find value here. They have to eat into the bank of DRX. And that's a great way to start it. Zipan all the way down short control has completely used this wall to its full effect, but look at the counter from DRX.
A 3-man flank through mid.
Trademark's gonna spot it, but they are all the way committed. Do they have some protocol to hold this back? And is it going to weaken their actual retake hold in their post plan?
Look at how far Zipan is. And he's got his ultimate. They're going to see this flank attempt re-emerge as Artist tries to hold the line by himself. Viper's Pit used from Sugetsu. A deep one too. And Zipan might be the trap that's laid. He's now pushing his way forward into the mid, repositioning as he's expecting the retake come through, and Artist re-challenges, but he goes Icarus, he flies way too close to the sun. Mako and Zaz getting 2 massive kills. Spike ticking away, Buzz finds one, the pit should go down, and they just get destroyed.
Again, no value found from a quite decent investment. All 5 players light armor again, a stinger bot. The ult there from Sugetsu used as well. And it won't net the same result. Thankfully, their loss bonus is quite high at this point.
The second challenge up from Artist, man.
Whew. The thing with the Viper's Pit there is everybody who's within that Viper's Pit is not able to help. So you notice that haunt lit up 2 players. Those are the players who are not expecting to be able to have to deal with the haunt on their own because that pit is down. You can tell it's not as rehearsed for FPX.
They haven't really shown anything different out of this wall from Sugetsu either. I think every round on attack has been that one.
Sure, but there's still so many layers on top of it still to deal with. Shock Dart to clear out. Angel's on top as well. They're double pushing the high.
Paranoia to clear out A-Link.
They've cleared the site at this point.
Yeah.
And don't forget, there is so much post plant here.
Yeah, Shao's Hunter's Fury, Zipan's ult too. And look at Artist. Once again, going on the flank. And the timing is going to work out, isn't it?
Oh!
Zipan finds nothing, but again, Artist's flank is everything. Oh gosh, missed a couple of shots there, but Buzz finds 3.
The defuse is getting stuck right now. The mollies are, only one is out. Second one going out now, but they could easily stick this through. Shao still with the ult though.
They've gotten it to half. The layers are there.
He's going for it.
Buzz is going to try to do it. They bait out the Hunter's Fury. Time is not plentiful here. Buzz trying to dance around it, but he's going to take too much damage. He has to pull off every single time.
They're sticking.
There's no way.
They got it.
They dealt with every layer thrown their way.
DRX making a quick case in the second half that they are definitely still here to play. Definitely still here to close out this match.
Come back to head. Score dega kini.
What a round from Buzz.
Score dege. Come back to head.
Goodness, that shot on Artist.
9-8 ho
And
gaya.
the final nail in the coffin stacks as well. The failsafe.
Crack them down.
DRX, so close to tying it up right now. So close. to making the case that this Viper was absolutely not fruitful.
What a comeback, man. That's just insane.
The resiliency shown by this team throughout this tournament, with the exception of one series, the Loud series, has been ridiculous for a team that has gone through so much trials and tribulations in terms of late tournament pressure getting to them.
And the tragedy that often ensues around those moments. Mako repositioning around the nade. He's going to spot so many players. He's going to spot so much utility, and that's a spike. The paranoia out, and it's going to hit so many members. It stalled it, but Angel goes forward again by himself, and he dies. Artist is taking garage. Nothing. No shot is landing from FPX. DRX seem incapable of doing wrong, and it just continues. Mako with the shock dart in his lap gets 4.
And the game is all tied up. That right there, classic DRX round. There's just so much good utility to break up the hit from FPX. Yeah, the paranoia's coming through. There's the fault line to stun Zip on. He's alone. Angel gets flashed by Stacks there. Moments before Mako goes out and swings. And they know what's about to happen. They know they just tied up the game. And forced an eco here. This is the chance for them to take the lead.
You want to play? Let's play.
6 rounds in a row. For DRX, you see now why this is the map that they chose, why they feel comfortable here. Buzz with the op, and they're going to challenge him. Artist has a Tour Force on the other side. The Prowler cleared out. No shot fired. Oh, and Buzz misses. But he's going to re-challenge. Really has no choice otherwise. And they're all flashed up. They can't see a dang thing. Oh my gosh, Buzz gets another. It's all there. All hail King Buzz. Long may he reign.
Just shutting down every single approach. And remember what I said about DRX and how they're interrupting the op ability of Artis. FPX is doing the same thing to Buzz, but he still does not care.
Unreal. Buzz is a bloody demon. The lead is gone.
And we just came back from halftime. I mean, that feels like 2 minutes ago. Look at this. Nade combo in the back with the Viper Molly, and Buzz just moves out of the way. There's too many gaps on these executes that Buzz is ripping apart. And Angel stunned.
Wide-eyed.
Just stunned.
9-10.
DRX
lead
is 3 rounds away from achieving the best performance from a Korean team since our very first global tournament. 3 rounds away from tying Newturn at the very, very first Reykjavik. Their best result. They already hit that notch. And they're trying to take it 1 notch further. Still not over. This FPX team has shown so much magic throughout this tournament and against this team. And the crowd trying to hype them up a little bit because they need it. Not a single round won so far on this attack side. Not a single round.
Just what a performance from DRX. And again, FPX seem historically comfortable in these situations with backs against the ropes with nothing really but survival before them. And it's just been nothing this half.
There's an easy way to push Buzz off the angle. And DRX look like they want to try to fight back against the wall, which they haven't really done so far. They've been really relying on fighting the execute that gets thrown out. That's cautious from FPX to use that dart to clear out Buzz potentially on the backside of those bricks. He's in a very Artis-esque position right now.
Speaking of which, you see him on the mini-map playing towards B with the Prowler. Getting a little bit of info. And they're going to rotate back into him. But the thing is, there's an alarm bot on the other side that Truly's heard at this point. Angel still has some utility, so they can try to smoke it out.
They're going for that same TP satchel up play from Zipon.
Shock Dart didn't clear it out. Artist has to do it himself.
And we've been here before. This time, the utility in the post plant is significantly less. No Hunter's Fury, only one Molly. No ult from Zipon either. So they have to play on site.
Who's the catalyst for FPX? Who stops the bleeding? Who's the Band-Aid?
Where are you?
First shot fired, Buzz with the op, still holding things out. Oh my gosh, I thought that was gonna hit. Artist is repositioned. Xiao has found one on his desk. Buzz creeping forward. Xiao still close by. Blades in his back pocket.
Ollie's out.
Mako has gotten it to half, and he's gonna stick it the whole way. He's just gonna stick it the whole way! FPX look lost. They look befuddled.
One enemy remaining.
And I think they are scratching their head because where did that Molly go? Sugetsu definitely fired it off. Maybe he used it really early. But I think it just missed entirely. It went over to the left. You just saw it get used. He's using it to try to delay them getting in the sight rather than...
And the post.
2 rounds now. And you've seen it so many times on their face. The reactions from FPX, they just have no clue what to do.
And that's a scary place to be, man.
Angel's ulted. He's all the way up in heaven right now. And the aggression from DRX right now might get punished. The drone to push him back, they have to go through that wall. And they can't retreat. There's no way forward.
He's so bold! Buzz uses the blades. Xiao close by. Yeah, the spike's been planted, but Xiao's in world hurt. Oh my gosh. It was ugly, but that's okay. It works out.
And the trades are huge, but they're coming fast behind them.
They're flanking the flankers. Sugetsu's there, and he's gonna put 2, but no! Zest is wise to it! Artist has managed to get 1, and he's gonna be flanking around. Angel's not around. Artist has to do it himself. A 1v3, a fault line before him, and the spam is good for Zest.
Match, series, point. Korea strong, DRX strong, fighting their hardest to make it to that podium finish, something that has eluded them their entire careers. And it is 1 round away. DRX is one of the most consistent teams at making it to global events, but so often they fall. Finally, last chance in modern VCT. And they're making history.
And they're making a play. 2 down mid. A little bit of early aggression, a little bit of early space denial. You've got Buzz holding that window too. Oh, you can feel the tension building. It's all just on the other side of this scope. Angel's no longer around. Buzz's shot's gonna miss, but he's gonna proc the dash. Takes another and gets away. A 4v4.
Equality achieved, but no space except for Artist. Look at him, all the way up.
And he has the chance to find so much value here. But Buzz on the other side, keeping things back. Artist 2, just there. No, just 1. No magic. No Artist. Sugetsu and Xiao. The dynamic duo for FPX in this 2v3.
And they're walking into a stack of Killjoy utility here.
30 seconds left.
And RB, who's blossomed so much in this role, in this tournament. But DRX mere moments away from putting them down. You see it, RB.
He has help.
Yes, he does. And it's massive help too. The challenge is there, they're gonna swing right into it. They both fall! DRX has done it! They usurp the throne! Take down FPX and advance!
It was your reigning champions. And DRX has sent them home. Top 3 now for the Koreans.
Mau dah. 9-3 हरून टाकला भाई. एक राउंड ने काढू दिला.
In this 2v3, and RB, who's mere moments away from putting them down. You see it. Oh, RB.
He has help.
Yes, he does. And it's massive help too. The challenge is there. They're going to swing right into it. They both fall. DRX has done it. They usurp the throne, take down FPX, and advance.
It was your reigning champions. And DRX has sent them home. They got a rematch scheduled now in the lower bracket final against Optic. And boy, is that going to be a treat.
The conversations that we've had around the adjustments that DRX have made, stacks back on IGLing, RB changing roles, it's all coming together at just the right time.